What up, cappers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers? Happy Friday, December 3rd to all of you. Thank you for watching Betting with the Bag right here on Pub Sports Radio. Coming off a giant night. My first big night of the hockey season. I was like, look, I haven't had a big night all year. When am I going to get that big night? I want several of them. When am I going to get one? And I got it. 5-0 plus 6.75 units in NHL. Cash with Wild -1 and -117. Pushed with the Stars -1 and -108. Cash with the Lightning -1 and -104. Cash Sabres first period at +180. Senators first period at +195. And the Buffalo, Florida over 6, which I wouldn't have cashed, had, again, everything that we do here. It just, it involves more than just our show. I mean, we're working together to defeat the books 24 hours a day. Apologies for my son in the background looking for titty. I think they're going to be bouncing up to Dufferin Mall soon. So if anybody wants to meet Carter, he'll be rolling through Dufferin Mall in a minute here. So what we do is we're always working together to defeat the books. And Clint, star of the Die Hard MMA podcast, he reached out. He said that Aaron Derl is going to be in goal for the Sabres tonight. And it brought up a couple ideas. First, it didn't actually concern me that I was with Sabres first period because everybody loves Derl. They love him. That's why he still has a job, because he's not good enough to be in the NHL. People really like this guy. They love him in the room. They love having him on the bus, on the plane. And so, I thought, who knows? Maybe it'll be fine for the first period. But he's terrible. So I immediately bet the over 6. I couldn't believe it was just at -110. I couldn't believe the market wasn't moving towards the over 6. And I cashed out $181.82, all because of Clint. Started the Hard MMA podcast. I wouldn't have moved on if it wasn't for you. Thank you. Shout out to everybody watching the show right now. We have a huge Friday show. Huge. First up, we're going to have Maxwell Smart, hopefully in 26 minutes. That'll give me five minutes a game in NHL. That should be fine. Then we'll have Maxwell Smart come up here at 11:30. Then after Maxwell Smart, he's going to guide us through his 4 best bets in NCAA basketball. It's Derl in the house, fresh off a big Friday. His biggest Friday on the show here. He was excellent. I believe it was 5-1. I don't have that sheet in front of me, but he's rolling now. He's in the black on the show, and it was an excellent work from him. I went 3-1 too after that work, and you guys know what kind of year I've been having in NBA. Right now, actually, I'm plus money. Well, not plus money, but in the black. I should put it there. Unit-wise, in the black. I believe in college football, I'm up 0.3 units, and I think I'll have to go over my numbers, but I think I'm actually slightly down cash-wise. But I'm in the black in 5 of the 6 sports. The only sport I'm not in the black in right now is NBA, and I'm getting beaten badly in NBA. It is a problem. So we have Derl coming in at 11:55 p.m. Eastern, and then at 12:45, DJ Big Boss. We're going to break down the 2 Friday games here for college football, and then we're going to break down the spots that we are most excited about. With Boss, we have to talk about Mountain West. We have to talk about Sun Belt. And then, of course, we got to talk about SEC action. Thank you guys so much for rolling with us. I'm very excited to be rolling with all of you guys. Dan Kelly here. I don't have I don't know why I'm missing these first 2 comments. First half Cleveland +2 at Heritage. Square as fuck. First half Cleveland +2 at Heritage. That's one of his spots. I don't know why I don't have it here on my comments here, but we'll get that going. Dan Kelly in the house. Tony Cobbs, Henry Dyson, a 2-team parlay. What a game by Memphis last night. That was wild. Dale Robinson on Oilers and Knights. I am on the Knights. I have moved on 4 spots in NHL, but I'm not moving on the Oilers. I will not back them without Darnell Nurse under any circumstances. But they've been playing very well without him, and looks like I may be leaving money on the table, but it doesn't matter to me. Beautiful James S. Spurs on the money line. What great work from our Dutch boy Fresh yesterday in NBA. There's Truth Teller coming off a giant day himself. Dan Kelly, I love you. I love you, buddy. Sammy Culmer, Elio ready to go. Brandon Lugo in the house. My guy, Brandon, great to see you. Trisha says Vamelka in net for the Coyotes. That's fine. Look, is he going to be – he's had a few days off from that 46-save performance. He didn't play the following night. Look, he may be a really good goaltender, but just because he has one spectacular hockey game, that doesn't mean that he's the dominator. We'll wait and see on that stuff. We'll wait and see. Ron Crawford running hot right now. Logan Dent says Cupcake was spot on with Cleveland and Youngstown yesterday. It's great. He's running hot right now. Nuke Worker in the house. We got Cab ready to go. Michael Ervalina and Dan Kelly giving us breaking news on the NHL franchise. The Vancouver Canucks, the very sad Vancouver. I'll leave that up for a second so you guys can read it. There he is. Clint started the Die Hard MMA podcast who helped me out so much. Vitalis ready to go to serious business. Slatsy says Dallas keeps rolling. 7-3 in NHL last night on Rangers regulation today. Is Mr. CFL making an appearance? Not on this show. I will be tweeting out my action for these huge playoff games in Canadian football. But I still need more time with them. I'm still the idea that Dennis Garcia thought that Hamilton was so much better than the Argos, I don't think was wrong. I need to go over further. Even though I watched the Ticats Argos game, I need to go over further what exactly happened to the Ticats in that spot. Because I don't think there are legitimate and real reasons why Dennis felt that way, and he's a capper I respect very much. So I'm hesitant there. And then on the other side, I would like to back the Bombers. Do I want them at 8? So I've got more work to do there. But for those of you watching, I have hit 11 straight in CFL, but I've been very tight since I got on the winning streak. I've only made 29 bets all year in CFL. Paco Healy ready to go. Mike M. Rob Stevenson. Okay, we got to get to work. We got to get to work. AB in the house. Oh wow, AB you parlayed. I was hoping somebody would have the balls to parlay those 2 first periods. I was hoping. Puck Bunny money with the Sharks at plus 112. That was great work. I am fading the Sharks here this evening. Aurelius cashed a 3-unit yesterday under in San Jose, New York Islanders. That was a nice no sweater. Tony Cobbs. Okay, Tyrone Coleman. Okay, we got to get to work. Clint saying, I got you, Jimmy. That was all you. It was just us. It's just a perfect example of why we are succeeding. I got you, Kev. I knew that you'd be good for it. I'll just I'll send it to you on Twitter. Don't worry. Dan says, get Carter on skates. Well, yeah, trust me. And he says, you're going to love having kid youth hockey. Don't worry. I'm going to force that soon. And of course, as soon as I start talking to Ellis, like, she wants out. She wants on the ice. So, yeah, that's going to happen very soon. There's Razor Sharp Picks running so hot. Says, can't wait to talk about this card. Okay, we got to get to work. We got to get to work right now. Thank you for the very kind words, Jared. I am not the GOAT. I'm not the GOAT, but all of us working together is why we are having success. That's why we're having success. And it'll always be that way. But you guys have very kind words for me, and it means a ton. All right, there's Saturated Spreadsheet Curb Stomp Collab. Rangers in regulation. The first Spreadsheet Curb Stomp Collab. Rangers in regulation. Also, we have Slatsy on it. Should I? Yes, Vitalis, yes. But you know what you can do? It's funny. This may sound nuts. But if Derl comes into a game due to an injury or due to, the Sabres getting blown out the barn, then you could bet the Sabres live because they love this guy. And he, but when he has to wake up in the morning and realize he's going to be in net, he buckles. All right, great to have all you guys. Thank you for rolling. Okay, we got to get to work. We got to get to work here right now. I'd love just to give you guys all the what's up because you all deserve it. That's why we succeed. Dan Kelly says, I wasn't being sexist. I figure Ella was already on skates. She's been on skates, but things have been kind of tricky with COVID. She's skated. We've skated, but we haven't bought her own skates, and we're not going to the rink all the time. And I know you weren't being sexist, my man. All right, let's get to work right now. So we're coming off a huge day in NHL. Oh, by the way, I'm producing the show solo. Our man Jose is off to the big tailgate for the UTSA game. They're going to be live there. So things will be a little different. We won't have the games up, but that's so we're going NHL, NCAA basketball, NBA, NCAA football, and I can't put up my record, although I would love to, because we're now 73 wins, 72 losses, hitting at 50.3% plus 6.3 units ROI plus 4.35%, average line plus 108. And the spreadsheet play today, two of them. And this spreadsheet is being white hot lately. Is Edmonton NCAA football UTSA look here. Let me get this going here. All right. Lock that in. Sweaty Butcher said, I'm just going to tail razor sharp picks today. I'm not even going to try. Okay. All right. Okay. I don't believe you, Sweaty Butcher. I don't believe you. Okay. Let's get to work now. And we start. Joel Price, thank you. Oh, from Jay Peasy. That's Joel Price. Jay Peasy in the house. Thank you for your support, Jay Peasy. We truly all love being here at Pub Sports, man. We love working for Slaughter. We love the atmosphere that the group of cappers have together, and just very thankful. Okay, let's get to work. 7 p.m. Eastern. San Jose Sharks 12-9-1, 7-5-0 at New York Rangers 14-4-3, 6-1-1 at home. Something that happens to me after a big winning day is I'm like hesitant, and it cost me money today because it was minus 175 on the money line. The puck line was plus 135 for both the Rangers and the Jets, and I don't know what was holding me back because they weren't available for me to bet last night. I don't know what was holding me back, but literally right in front of my eyes, it switched to minus 192 and plus 125. Which gave me a minus 130, a minus one line, which is bothersome. Really, really, really bothersome. But, it was my fault, and I had to deal with it. Fat Wally says Oakland opens today. I love it. I'm excited. Dennis Garcia passing on this spot. My only concern, and I had to go over the schedule, and this kind of hurt me a bit for not getting the line I wanted, was this is the front end of a back-to-back. They play the Blackhawks tomorrow night, and I had to go over their schedule previously. They had a break because of a COVID cancellation that wasn't involving them. And then they have the Blackhawks again 3 nights later. So I was like, is there a chance Georgiev is in goal? Because if he is, I don't want the Rangers. My humming and hawing has cost me money here, but I did move on the Rangers at this line. San Jose's power play 17.5%, penalty killing 88.1%. Rangers power play 21.3%, penalty killing 81.5%. I have a feeling that this isn't going to be updating. Let's see if this is updating. It is updating. Okay, sweet. So the Rangers are now minus 200 at Bet365. All the money coming in on them. And look, I get it. I'm not too concerned about being on this public side here. We only know that 88% of the tickets are on them, and 83% of tickets are on the over. Also, Dami Gunricci's on the over, which did surprise me. So they play the Blackhawks tomorrow night, but these Rangers have won 4 straight, the last 3 games by 3 goals each. They're coming off defeating the Flyers handily 4-1 at home on Wednesday night, and I should probably already be on the New York Rangers future. And maybe I should just say, okay, I'm a little late to the party, but I should come in now because of Capo Caco. Second overall pick of the 2019 draft has started to roll for the first time in his NHL career. He has 8 points in his last 7 games. He's a +5 over that span. And now this team is what happens if Alexei Lafreniere gets going? I mean, we've been waiting for the Rangers and the Devils to become very good hockey teams because of their drafting opportunities. I mean, we saw what it did with the Penguins with Malkin and Crosby. We saw what it did with the Blackhawks with Kane and Taves. And the Devils haven't followed suit with Hischier, the 2017 first overall pick, and Hughes, the 2019 first overall pick. Here's the 2019 second overall pick starting to roll. Birdie bet the Sharks in regulation and the -1.5 line, and Sharks team total under. He's all over it. Northander hit the Panthers +300 live last night and says keep an eye on the Cats when they are trailing. Yeah, I do want to chase the Rangers one. I'm not sure if I will. I think the Rangers are a much better hockey team than the Flames. See, I'm on the Ducks tonight, and this is an example of what's going to be a problem with them. The Flames don't have a face-off winning center. When you're playing the Ducks without Getzlaf, you want some puck possession opportunities because the Ducks are going to be a faster team without Getzlaf. Now, they're not a better team without Getzlaf, but you have to be able to win faceoffs, which the Flames don't. I also have a vividness bias of cashing the Flames to win the division in 2019. And that's +650, 6.5 to 1. It was a big casher for me. I mean, I only had $200 on it, but picked up 1,300 off the win. And then we saw who they really were in the playoffs. Is this roster much different? I don't know. Dennis Garcia got 5 to 1 to win the division. I like that. So Sharks are playing good hockey. They're on the second half of a back-to-back. I'm fading both teams on the second half of a back-to-back here right now. They've won 3 straight, 5-6. 9th overall pick in the 2015 draft. Timo Meier is playing very good hockey, best of his career. 11 goals and 13 assists in 24 games. He's a plus 12. Logan Couturier is an excellent hockey player. What we're seeing is him being healthy for the first time in, 3 years? I mean, and knock on wood if you're a Sharks fan. I don't really believe in that shit, but you should hope that he stays healthy because he plays a physical style. He plays a physical style, and he's a broken – I don't want to say broken, but he's – it's very important for him to be in the lineup for the Sharks. 7 goals, 13 assists, 20 points. He's a plus 11. Brady says Flames are 10-2-2 on the road. I'm not stepping in front of them. Flames regulation for me. I'm very comfortably stepping in front of them here. I'm getting a plus line against the team that played a difficult 3-2 winning game in LA. And I know there's no travel, but I'm quite comfortable here. And Dennis says, Dave, a new coach who isn't an idiot. Yes, I agree. Says that's what's different. Also, Markstrom is as elite as they come. He might be now in his career. And I always believed him. But there's some talk in the chat about Erik Karlsson being much better. He has been 5 goals, 8 assists, 13 points. He's a plus 4 in 17 games. Scored the overtime winner last night versus the Isles. Making Doug Wilson not look like such an ass clown. I'm on the Rangers -1. I got a shit line. It was my fault. I was hesitant. I don't know why I was hesitant. Dommy Gunn locked in the Rangers over 5.5. Jets over 5.5. Okay, so let's move on to game 2. Next up, New Jersey Devils at Winnipeg Jets. Devils 9-7-4, 3-3-2 on the road. Jets 10-8-4, 7-3-1 at home. And I hesitated on this as well, but for good reason. Canada Life Center, Winnipeg, Manitoba. We got Bernier expected. Oh, Bernier. I keep thinking it's Matt Bernier. We have Jonathan Bernier, 4-3-1, 2.55 goals against average, 914 save percentage. Connor Hellebuck, 7-6-4, 2.60 goals against average, 918 save percentage. This has moved to -192, which is unfortunately. Oh, I got -185. I beat that by minimally, but I should have got the -175 plus 135. It's just being an asshole. You can't hesitate. He who hesitates is lost. You hesitate in a sporting event, you're going to get hurt. And I hesitated, and it's going to cost me money here. And we've already heard that Dommy Gunn is on the over in this total. The over. I'll push Max back 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Sorry, I got to do all this on my own. Here, Max. 11:35. Okay, there we go. All right, so this total opened up at 5.5. Slightly juiced to the over. It's actually been a 1 cent move towards the under at Pinnacle, but other books have moved this to the over. Let me move this over, and it's going to be a little bit more difficult for me to get to all of the comments because I'm doubling up. And let's go here. All right, and let's go over to the cash flow in this spot. I am on the Jets on the -1 line, 1,538 tickets in. We have almost exactly the same numbers in the Sharks, Rangers, and Jets. Devils, almost exactly the same numbers. 80% to the over in just tickets. We don't know the cash flow yet because the tickets amount is small. 80% of tickets to the over, 83% of tickets to the over in the Rangers game, and 88 and 89% respectively on the money line for these favorites here. New Jersey power play 11.9%, penalty killing 80.6%, Winnipeg power play 16.9%, penalty killing 68.9%. Devils coming off their second straight loss and 4th in 5 games, 5-2 at Minnesota. And their lineup simply is not strong enough. Their forward group is not strong enough. And they, some of these guys just haven't progressed the way we expected them to. And do you want to have Jack Hughes on that line with Nico Hischier? I mean, where would they be without Jesper Bratt and Andreas Johansson? I mean, they'd be in their best forwards. And that was not the plan coming into the season. There's a lot of pressure on Jack Hughes after signing this massive 8-year, $64 million contract extension. His agent's the best in the business and on the ice. Pat Brisson got him this. So he had 8-year, $64 million addition. He is a -27 lifetime. He has 20 goals in 121 games, 35 assists. He has 55 points in 121 games, and he just signed a $64 million extension. Kent Davies, I did take them on the first period, the Senators, so it was great. Great job, Kev. Love to hear that you are cashing my man. Okay, so the number 1 overall pick, 2017 draft, we already talked about Nico Hischier. He has 2 goals on the season. 2 goals in 21 games. Now, he's just 22, and you forget that because he's played 251 games already in the NHL, but he's on an 8-goal pace this season. And look, you better step up for the Swiss, Nico, or we're going to start talking shit about them. Jets have lost 6 of 7. They've scored 9 goals over their last 7 games. How big of a liability is Blake Wheeler going to become? I imagine this is every Winnipeg Jets fan's worst nightmare. 0 goals, 17 assists in 17 games. It's a serious problem. They're coming off a 1-0 loss at home to the lowly Coyotes where they outshot them 46-15. They went 0 for 6 on the power play. Who was on the ice for 6.5 minutes of that power play? Blake Wheeler. Kyle Connor, Pierre-Luc Dubois, and Andrew Kopp have been good. Scheifele and Blake Wheeler have combined for 2 goals in 33 games. That is hard to comprehend. Slatsy says, great player, Hughes, but falls into toddler shoulders category, which worries me. So is Patrick Kane. Patrick Kane has toddler shoulders, and he's been able to be a 3-time Stanley Cup champion and Art Ross Trophy winner. So, but I don't remember Kane missing huge chunks of the season early in the season because of his shoulder issues. So you're absolutely right there. I agree with you completely. Okay, so I'm on the Jets -1. Should they be this big of a favorite? 9 goals in 7 games. I trust Kyle Connor. I expect this power play to be good. It's hitting at 16.9%. Why? I guess after talking it over, maybe this was the spot. This is the reason why I didn't bet the Rangers at first, because I was sitting here going, should I even move on the Jets? So I'm on the Jets -1. I expect them to take care of business here. And Birdie and I both said, look, New Jersey's going to be a bet on at some point, and we want to be ahead of the market for that. I just don't think that some point is now. Birdie says, why not on the over in that game? Well, the Jets have 9 goals in 7 games. I don't want to double up in this spot, and I don't want to double up on the Jets offense. I mean, my unit size is not big, but $200 is a comfortable amount for me to have on this Jets team. And I don't want to sit here with $400 on the game. 9 goals in 7 games. Blake Wheeler doing ass squat, nothing. Scheifele not scoring. Okay. Let's move on to the next spot. It is the Golden Knights -1.5 at +115. I don't believe this has changed. I mean, I was watching it all night last night while I was setting up the card for it today. And I was like, man, it's not changing. It hasn't changed. It's still sitting here at -1.5 +115. No movement whatsoever. That's surprising. It's very surprising to me. And in all honesty, it's very worrisome. 88% of the tickets, and this is only one showing the cash, 98% of the cash on the Knights. It makes me uncomfortable. There's Nilo in the house. Great to see you, Nilo. Taint play today is in. Utah, Oregon, under 57.5. 2 teams that just saw each other. I can't wait to break down that game. Oh, here we go. Taint play of the day is in. We will discuss that. Dommy Gunn loves the over. I don't think there's anything wrong with the over at all. I just don't know if there's Lamont Williams in the house. Great to see you, Lamont. I just don't want to have too much invested in that team. Pretty simple. Let's go back to this Vegas spot. Vegas Golden Knights 12-10-0, 5-5-0 on the road. Arizona Coyotes 5-16-2, 2-6-1 at home. We're in Glendale, Arizona. Robin Lehner has not been very good. 3.08 goals against average, 909 save percentage. He's 500 on the year, 99. I do not believe Carter Hutton is actually going to be in goal. Does anyone know? Because is Vejmelka confirmed? Because there was a site that said Carter Hutton, and I'm expecting Vejmelka, obviously. But the site that I was looking at last night had Carter Hutton. I was like, come on, let's not be ass clowns. You want to compete with the worst goalie in the league with Aaron Derl? Let Carter Hutton compete. 2 guys that are beloved, by the way. Great guys. Shitty goalies. Kent Davies says you shaved. Let's proceed with caution. I'm very comfortable with this. And Twatty says he likes the under as well with Utah. Okay. Vegas comes in off their 3rd loss in 4 games, 6-5 at the Ducks. 13.7% power play, 82.5% penalty killing. Yes, it's at +3.5. But don't forget, we have Jose who moved on it at +1.5? Vejmelka confirmed. Thank you, Puzzler. They're getting healthier, this Vegas team, but they're still missing Alec Martinez and Will Carlson and Nolan Patrick. It's a pretty simple situation, okay? And keep this in mind. And sometimes I let go of it. And I've been letting go of it a bit with Dallas. But the only time you want to bet a big favorite against a terrible team is when the big favorite has lost games recently and you know they will come in focused and angry. If not, don't bet it. And I probably shouldn't even have been on the Stars last night. Now, I got the push, but that's the only time you want to be on a big favorite against a bad team. If you only do that, your ROI on now this is I'm talking and this can go across all sports, but this is for NHL for me. This is NHL. If you do that in NHL, only bet the big favorite when they've got a loss or you have an angle on why they're going to come in confident. Your ROI will be through the roof. It'll be gross. Chandler Stevenson has been very good this year. They need Bill Carlson to play between Riley Smith, Johnson, March. So Carlson is hurt. Their offense will improve with Stone and Pacioretty back. Arizona comes in off a 5-2 loss at Minnesota on Tuesday. It was a very tough travel spot. They just won in Winnipeg the night before. And Red Girl in the house said, I did just start to GoFundMe. I'm okay, just painful. Red Girl, I will do a ton to support that here. I apologize. I haven't got to it yet, but I will be all over it. I'll be all over it and to help and support. And we love you, Red Girl. So Vejmelka might be a really good goaltender. And for the sake of the Coyotes fans, I hope he is. But look at Jacob Chychrun. He's a good defenseman. He's playing 25 minutes and 7 seconds a game. Just to give you an idea of how bad this team is in front of him, he's a minus 25. He's a minus 25. It's because you have players on this team that wouldn't be playing in the NHL if it wasn't for this Coyote team trying to get to the minimum salary cap. Louis Eriksson has 0 goals, 3 assists. He's a minus 9 in 21 games. Andrew Ladd, whom I loved in juniors, and I cheered for when he came up in the NHL. But look, he's too slow and wouldn't be playing in the NHL if it wasn't for this team. So I'm uncomfortable. The market hasn't moved. That makes me nervous. But this is the perfect situation of a team that's not happy. They're angry, and they're going to come in focused, and they'll take it out on the Coyotes. Next up, 10 p.m. Eastern, Calgary Flames 13-4-5, 9-2-2 on the road to Anaheim Ducks 13-8-3, 9-4-1 at home. Honda Center in Anaheim, California. Look, Dan Vladar has been very good. How long will this last? Your guess is as good as mine. 1.57 goals against average, 946 save percentage. He has 2 shutouts in 5 games. I find it difficult to believe that he's this good. Clearly, we all do, right? I mean, the Bruins wouldn't have just gotten rid of him if he was better, but he's playing very well. John Gibson, 10-6-2, 2.68 goals against average, 915 save percentage. Certainly, I feel like I have the goaltending advantage in this spot. Both power plays are rolling. Calgary at 26.2%, penalty killing at 87.3%. Anaheim power play at 27.1%, penalty killing at 84.9%. Both are looking very, very strong here. 1,097 tickets in. 58% of the tickets are on Anaheim. Have we seen any market move from this? Open up plus 110. There's been a big move towards the under. 16 cents at Pinnacle. From a money line perspective here, we have... Did I just skip right over Edmonton Seattle? No, I'm doing Edmonton Seattle next. Okay, sorry. A 4 cent move. Very little movement towards Anaheim. Look, I think it's going to be important to fade the Ducks without Getzlaf against a team with strong face-offs. You have Steele and Zegras as the top 2 centermen. Now, you have options with the Ducks because Henrique can win faceoffs. So I imagine if the kids are struggling in the faceoff circle, Henrique will come in, but there's still a problem from the faceoff circle. It's just when you go to the Flames, Lindholm's not going to win faceoffs. Lindholm is winning more than he's losing. He's a good centerman, but if you go over their faceoffs, no one's hitting over 51%, and Backlund is under 50%, and Monahan's under 50%. That's how you beat. Because with Getzlaf off the ice, this team is fast. This team is so fast. And I'm not saying they're better without him. Yellow Jesus in the house to bless our picks. Great to see you. Paco Healy says, love the Knights play. They got their power play going against the Ducks. Had a few shorthanded goals. They'll be hungry. So, look, the Flames... Are the Flames going to be ready to skate all night on the second half of a back-to-back? I don't know. And I'm getting a plus line to find out, so I'll bet it. That's basically what it comes down to. We'll see. Okay, let's move on. Next up, so I'm on the Ducks plus 110. Next up in the final game on the card, Oilers at Seattle Kraken, Climate Pledge Arena in Seattle, Washington. Koskinen 12-2-0, 2.82 goals against average, 914 save percentage. Philip Grubauer 6-9-2, 3.02 goals against average, 890 save percentage. Edmonton 35.9% power play. It's still beautiful stuff, but remember, it's come down from 50%. Penalty killing at 87.7. I'm impressed. Dommy Gun says Calgary comes out firing in the first. I wonder, Dommy, and I'm not saying you're wrong by any stretch of the imagination, because they could easily. And you've been cashing on Calgary Flames first periods nonstop. And what do we know about Derl Sutter? Still have his team ready to go. But I wonder if the fact that Getzlaff's going to be in the dressing room without pads on, and they know that they're going out without their captain and their leader, I wonder if that gives them a bit more sharpness early. I wonder. Now, it certainly didn't show. Oh, no, it did show. What am I talking about? It certainly did show against the Kings, although the Kings battled back. Real Deal Prime says Edmonton rolls here. How can they not? Because, as I said earlier, Seattle is probably a bet on hockey team at this market price. Now, when you see a team that's 13-8-2 as a slight dog against a team that's 16-5-0, you have to wonder, why would that be? And Darnell Nurse is a huge loss. Now, if you want Seattle, you have lower body injuries to Jordan Eberle and Jaden Schwartz, and that's 2/3 of the first line, and they're needed. I'm not going to bet the Oilers without Darnell Nurse. I'm not. We did this. Remember last year. We got on a really nice run. We started fading the Blues without Colton Parayko, and there's no difference to the situation here. Darnell Nurse is an extremely important defenseman who I expect will be on Team Canada. Kraken coming off a 2-2 road trip. They were last seen a 4-3 loss to Detroit on Wednesday night. That was without Eberle and Schwartz. They opened with a win over Tampa before impressive 3-goal wins over Florida and Buffalo. So I truly think that if you guys are going to sit here and be against Seattle Kraken night in and night out moving forward, that you're going to lose money at the market point that they're in. Too many people are looking at them as a bad hockey team. They had terrible COVID issues to start the year, and Jared McCann is the most important piece of this puzzle for Seattle, and he's a Corsi darling. Obviously, the defensemen have been worse than we expected, but I'm telling you guys, this is the buy low. Now, they're not that good of a team. They're not going to make the playoffs, but it's still a buy low spot on Kraken. Now, I don't want them here because of the lower body injuries, but I'm telling you what, if Eberle and Jaden Schwartz were healthy, and I'm not saying good to go tonight, declared in, but I mean like healthy and 100%, I would be on the Kraken in this spot. I would be fading the Oilers without Darnell Nurse. Now, I didn't fade the Oilers against the Penguins. I'm picking my spots to fade them. I was all over fading them against Dallas. Birdie's on Oilers regulation and the -1.5 and says Ron Crawford has been hot as hell. He's absolutely right about that. Satsy says, who's scoring for Kraken if those two are out? Yeah, look, I get it. Okay, so there you go. That's the NHL card. I'm on the Ducks plus 110, the Knights -1.5 at plus 115, the Jets -1 at 120, -127, and the Rangers -1 at -130. I also have a real belief here that I'm going to excel more with sides unless I have an angle on totals that I really believe in. So I would like to cut down my totals a little bit. Obviously you got to go over your numbers. What are you succeeding with? And so I'm going to cut down my totals a little bit unless there's an angle where I'm sure of. But I'm not going to push it, and I'm not going to push it after a big night. All right, there you go. Max bet coming in from Lamont Williams. Miami solo under 100.5, and Cleveland solo under, and Boston solo under. Going to copy and paste that. Thank you for sharing that with us, Lamont. That will be for our NBA card. But next up, we move into college basketball, NCAA basketball, with the Cupcake King himself joining us here on a Friday afternoon. Please welcome to the show, Maxwell Smart in the house. Oh, God, I got to bring you on, Max. Sorry. There you go, Max. How are you, my man?
Jim, I'm doing quite well. I'm definitely going to be feeding the ladies of the night over the next couple days. Fluids will be extracted, and I'm glad that I'm here early because I like being early. Let's go. Jim, what are you drinking there? What are you drinking there, bud?
I have water in one cup and coffee in the other, as always. Water and coffee.
That's disappointing. What about the apple juice, bro?
No, I do not drink apple juice or orange juice. But I know that you water down your apple juice, which that makes it a little bit more appealing to me. But I save all my calories for alcohol, and there's no alcohol in that coffee. There are sometimes, like the football show on Sunday, I'll pour a little Kraken in the coffee, but it is a very, very risky.
Does that mean that you won't do a shot for us right now?
That does mean I won't do a shot. I've got
Okay.
lots to do today, and lots to do. Got to pick up Ella from school, and can't do a shot right now. But I'll tell you what, my stepdad's dad was in radio in Barrie, Ontario, and he took a shot before every show he did, and died a young death as an alcoholic. All right, let's get to work. 7 p.m. Eastern, Coppin State Eagles 1-10, 0-10 on the road at Cornell. Big Red 6-1, 3-0 at home. We're at Ithaca, New York, baby. Let's break down this spot. This is where Max gets his card started. Coppin State comes in off their 5th straight loss, 93-81 at St. Bonaventure on Wednesday night. I don't want to make statements when I set these games up for Max, and I try to cut them down, but because Max is the expert and I'm succeeding in NCAA, coming off a 2-1 day. I'm 20-15 on the year right now. And let's just pull this up. At 20-15 on the year. Is it 57.1% plus 3.8 units, ROI plus 10.86%, average line minus 103. Because I'm just listening. I'm listening, and I do a little bit of capping, but I listen. But I did feel, and I wanted just to preface it where I should probably not mention these at all, but that they're much better than their record indicates. This has been a very tough schedule, that their last 5 games have been road losses, and they're playing against very good, St. Bonaventure is a very good basketball team. They're playing against tough opponents. Cornell comes in off their 2nd straight win, an impressive 89-75 victory at Canisius as 4.5-point dogs. I'm going to move over to college basketball here and then watch Max roll. We have, I'll pull up the, sorry. Here we go. You know what? Here we go. Coppin State opening up as 8-point dogs. Pinnacle's moved it to 7. We have 7.5 at other books. I'll pull up the total in a second, but Max, take it away.
Yeah, I think that this is a real interesting game ATS-wise because we're seeing Cornell in a point range that we're really not used to seeing early on this year, but the actual domination, whatever numbers being posted, has been quite remarkable. I thought that losing Jimmy Boeheim was going to play a big factor on this team, but guys like fucking Keller Boothby, Nazir Williams, and Jordan Jones, amongst others, because there's like 7 guys playing 20 or so minutes on this team and producing from multiple levels, if not all 3 levels. I do not see how this Coppin State team does not get run out of the building against Cornell. Yes, I'm saying I'm betting against Coppin State, Jim. And while I love Jesse Zarzuela and I love Nende Tark and Tyree Corbett, these guys definitely have to play to their quality of opponent. And unless they can go up and down early with Cornell, I think Cornell builds a big enough lead that, first off, I don't see value with Coppin on the first half for once in my life. But I think that Cornell, with their definite advantage from all 3 levels, offensive rebounding, facilitation, getting off to that good start, scoring that 40 plus in the first half, it's just really hard for me not to like Cornell in this spot. So I'm just going to ride with Cornell. I think that with Coppin State, we do know that with less depth, they are having foul issues arise, which could play into the factor of Cornell. And Cornell's got to be aware that this Coppin State team has taken Cleveland State to the brink, almost beat ECU, played tough against my Bonnies in their last game out in the first half. I think that this is a spot that Cornell comes ready to play. And I think that when you have a team that scores 43 points per game in the first half, this is a very good ATS team versus another very good ATS team. I'll take the team that rebounds offensively and defensively better. Give me Cornell -7 if you can get it for me at Pinnacle, Jim.
Yeah, available at -7. I'm going to see if... Yeah, 7.5 at Circa. 7 at Pinnacle is the best line on the market right now. Let's move over here.
And I'll just say this, Jim, while you're line shopping, I am leaning towards the team total over for Cornell. And it's a high number. I definitely have to do a little more research before I bet it, but it just seems like a spot that Coppin State has played to the tempo of their opponents also. We've seen them play up-tempo against Canisius. That's what they're going to have to do tonight. So let's see it happen. I would have loved to drop on the over full game at 155 on the opener, but now we're up to 159. It's just too much movement.
All right. I'm going to get Pinnacle up as well just to make sure it's not a stale line. But Cornell -7 at -112 for Max. Dan, I wish I could. I'm telling you, this summer I'm going to get down to upstate New York for at least a week. So, but I'm not going to be able to get he's got tickets for the St. Bonnie's game tomorrow if we want him, Max. Oh, fuck. It would be
I wish I made better life decisions early on in life. Next up, that Buffalo game would be awesome.
Oh, it would be magic. It would be absolute magic. I wish we could have that experience as well. Okay, let's move on to the next spot on Max's card here. It is 8 p.m. Eastern. New Mexico State Aggies 5-2 0-0 on the road. This is exactly what Christopher Comentini was looking for at UTEP Miners. 4-2, 3-1 at home. We're in El Paso, Texas for this one. Let's see what we got for a market. They're not giving me one on the shit site. What happened to this site, man? Let me pull up what Pinnacle has here. Actually, Max, you probably have it in front of you. So why don't I just let Max tell you what the line is here for Mexico State UTEP. New Mexico State had their 2-game winning streak snapped in a tough 101-94 loss at home to their rival, the New Mexico Lobos, as 10.5-point favorites. An ugly loss. UTEP comes in off their third win in 4 games, 67-53 at home over Florida A&M as 11-point favorites, but that was 9 days ago, 24th of November. Wonder what Max thinks here. Mexico State Aggies at UTEP Miners. Take it away.
Yeah, Jim, with the line right now, I'm seeing it definitely fluctuate. It opened at 1 in favor of New Mexico State. We're now seeing it flipped or at a pick 'em. So a lot of movement, a lot of indecision with where to leave this line. And I think with the total opening at 136, seeing it go down to 135 or 135.5 is definitely interesting movement considering how offensively potent both these teams were in getting to the free throw line, even though the efficiency numbers weren't good in the first game, and how efficient New Mexico State was scoring the basketball from all 3 levels, 40% from 3, 50%, I think, from the field overall. The turnovers were an issue. That's going to have to get cleaned up, but they were able to lock up Sully Baum, make his shots difficult, and with him and Jamal Bienemy, that's 36 points per game that could possibly torch you. New Mexico State has owned UTEP aside from one game that I think that they lost in 2018, which was at UTEP. There is question marks with this New Mexico State team. We definitely did not like the performance if you were on them against New Mexico the other night. New Mexico literally shot the lights out and the power went out across the whole campus. But is Chris Jans going to be on the bench? Is he going to be back coaching? That makes a big difference. I think that with New Mexico State, while on paper they have a lot of depth, they're not trusting that depth and they're not playing guys like Vershawn Cotton and Mike Peake. I think that this is a team that definitely has to play better defense, something that we've come to expect from these New Mexico State Aggies over the years, not really seeing that as much this year. So with this game against UTEP, they left 13 points at the free throw line. This game could have been a bigger margin of victory for them. I think that they clean it up tonight. I think that they definitely get inside, and Jabari Rice leads them defensively, ball hawking on Sully Baum and freaking Jamal Bienemy. And I just think that when you look at UTEP, if they don't have their 2 top scorers going, is Tyus Verhoeven and Keontae Kennedy going to lead the way offensively? I'm not going to put my money on that. I'll take the Aggies, and I'll take whatever best lines you can get me, Jim.
All right. Well, let's get to work right now. +1 at -112 at Pinnacle, -107 on the money line. Is it the money line that you want to be focused on right here?
Yeah, I would like a money line, but obviously I'm looking for that plus price that isn't out there right now. The best number is actually there's a +100 at Circa. So let me just double check that.
Oh wow, Circa. I've got minus 109 here at Circa. Let's see if that's.
Let me see if it's still.
Yeah, it's in black at minus 109 here. That's why I would have offered it to you right away. I got Circa up for you. Also, they have a crazy line here. They have New Mexico State minus 2.5 at plus 119.
Yeah, I see them do that often. I would love to bet those types of lines. I have to do that on Bet365, but no. I'll just take a straight money line or a straight pick 'em at whatever best juice you can get me.
Okay, so we are backing the Aggies here in a bounce back spot after a very disappointing performance, which is when I want to back. Can you talk to me what your expectations of a college basketball team after a 9-day break?
I think that sometimes they come out flat in first halves, but I do think that it does help to get that extra preparation time, rest the bodies. And obviously with COVID still going around, we're seeing cancellations pop up. Like guys got to be safe. So it's good to fucking get your mentality back into game mode, out of staying alive mode. So some people will laugh at that comment, but it is what it is.
All right, let's move on to the next spot on the board, and it is a big one. God, I can't believe this thing does not shut up. 9 p.m. Eastern. Iowa Hawkeyes 7-0. Purdue Boilermakers 7-0. Big Ten action underway in West Lafayette, Indiana. Iowa comes in off a very exciting 75-74 victory at Virginia as 2-point dogs on Monday night. Purdue comes in off a dominant home performance, 93-65 over Florida State on Tuesday night as 11.5-point favorites. Purdue sitting as 13-point favorites at Pinnacle. The total sitting at 160. Big game, Max. Take it away.
Listen, Jim, you see the hat I'm wearing? Let's go, Boilermakers! Obviously, I'm going with Purdue. I think that when you look at this Purdue team, this is a major step up for Iowa versus Virginia when you power rank and you analyze the metrics. I think that when you look at this Purdue team, we've already seen them play a much tougher strength of schedule where Iowa's coming off their toughest game against Virginia. And I just don't see that on the same tier as the likes of Florida State and freaking Villanova and North Carolina, who Purdue have dismantled, dominated. And with Purdue at home in this series, even during the Luka Garza days, they were still banging out freaking Iowa by 20. So I just think that this is a Purdue spot for me. I'm trying not to go buck wild playing every fucking spot that I can in this game, but it's pretty hard not to. I think that on the Purdue side with Zach Edey only playing 18 minutes a game, sharing the floor with Trev Williams beautifully and giving you 17 and 7 with 1.5 blocks, it does not get that. It does not get better. So from the 7'4" Canadian, you're going to need an impact performance tonight. But my X factor for Purdue every game is Jaden Ivey. I love how Jaden Ivey is just becoming that Tyrese Halliburton of college basketball. And with his numbers at 15, 6, and 4, up that assist, and you're right at Halliburton's best year at Iowa State. I think that Purdue, they hit their free throws. They have 6 capable 3-point shooters on the floor on that roster at any given moment. And Caleb Furst, the freshman is popped onto the scene, giving you good scoring. There's just so many weapons. They don't turn the ball over. They have great ball facilitation. They're scoring 92 points a game. So it's hard not to like Purdue at home. On the Iowa side, Jim, listen, there's no doubting that Keegan Murray and Chris Murray are really leading this team. I think that you did have expectations that Toussaint, Rebecca, Bohannon, and McCaffrey would be doing a lot more. We're not seeing that right now. But the difference between the first and second scoring offenses, which we have in this matchup, is the fact that Purdue is head and shoulders better defensively than Iowa. And for that, I have to look at Purdue first half. I have to look at the first half over. We may have 90 points. And when I look at the team total, it's hard not to take that 86.5 with Purdue full game. So I'm going to triple up and hoping that I get taken to the promised land and we don't have a defensive game. I want
And
offense.
that's first half over, and team total over full game.
Yeah, team total over full game 86.5. The juice on that is -116 at Pinnacle, Jim.
Okay, sorry. Let me just do that. Sorry. Well, first off, Circus hanging in the first half at 7.5 at -107, and Pinnacle's hanging that first half at 6.5. Wow, that's wild because Pinnacle has the full game at 13, and Circa has the full game at 12.5. Yet you get a better number on the half. That's so wild. Also, I don't know if you noticed this, Max, but Pinnacle's total is 160. Circus is at 158.
No, I did not notice. I'm actually looking at sportbet.com right now.
All right, so
those lines are better at Pinnacle.
First half -6.5. Oh, but that's -113. Is that all right?
-113. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, and then the first half is over 75.5 at Pinnacle, and it is 75 at Circa. Over 75 at -110?
Yes, please.
First half over 75 at -110. And then what was that team total you said?
Purdue full game team total over 86.5 -116.
All right, triple up for Max. Triple up. There's Nut Flush Allen in the house at the Ontario Convention Center helping out Mike Payton in his Old Town Bakery Harvest Festival. You're a good man. You are a good man. Nut Flush Allen's friend suffered I believe it was a seizure. I can't quote it, but and Nut Flush Allen's been helping him out, and it's just quality guy. Our Nut Flush Allen is, and we love him. Okay, and wow, look at that! Thank you for that, Dan Kelly says the juice at Heritage on that Purdue team total over is 86.5 and -105. Thank you very much.
Better juice, better than I'm
Thank
getting.
you. Everybody respects the fact that you give out these lines that are available right now, and they all work for the better good, the greater good. Okay, there you go. Triple up spot for Max. First half -6.5, -113. First half over 75 at -110, and team total over 86.5 at -105. Next up, we have 10 p.m. Eastern VMI at Portland Pilots. VMI 4-4 on the year, 0-3 on the road. Pilot 7-2 on the year, 4-0 at home. We are in Portland, Oregon for this one. I'm guessing. Oh yeah, we do have a line here. Wow, and it looks like a big move towards Portland, opening up at -2.5. 4's on the board, but Pinnacle's moved it to 5. This total at 144 is now up to 145.5. Moving quickly here. VMI, interesting. Both teams played 3 games in 3 days just recently. VMI didn't cover any of them. Portland covered all of them. VMI played 3 games in 3 days at the University of New Orleans Classic last week. Didn't cover any of them. They opened it by losing 59-55 to Presbyterian as 3.5-point favorites. Then they beat Central Arkansas 73-67 as 10-point favorites. They finished the tourney with a 79-71 loss to host New Orleans as 1-point dogs. They shot under 40% in each game. They came home and beat up on Division III Clark Summit University defenders. The mighty defenders shot 27.8% from the field and 5.3% from 3. Portland undefeated at home. They come in off the Incarnate Ward Thanksgiving Invitational. I was not invited to. They covered each game. They opened it with a tough 69-66 loss to Montana State. Montana State Bobcats as 6.5-point dogs. Then they beat Southwest Missouri State 74-68 as 1.5-point favorites. And they finished it by beating the host Incarnate Word Cardinal 77-68 as 7.5-point favorites. Max, take it away. VMI Portland.
Yeah, with VMI, I don't trust the stats because they played so many non-D1 opponents already this year. And when I look at this team, I expect better offense from them, and you're just not getting that outside of freaking Jake Stevens and Camden Kerfman. Both of them are 40% three-point shooters. Both of them are 85% free throw shooters. So you do have the capability of both of them going off in the same game. That's usually their best formula. But watching their games against Presbyterian, watching their game against VMI, It just doesn't really feel like the same team of last year. And I think that when you look at it, this is a Portland team that is flying high. They're playing fantastic defense. They're scoring just enough. They have this Eastern Washington trio leading them to an extent. And with Moses Wood and Chris Austin, those are the guys that have impressed me the most. Chris Austin definitely is having a coming out party, transferring over from Fordham. And with Moses Wood, this is a kid that definitely gives you all fucking 3 levels of scoring, rebounds the basketball, strong defender down low. And I just like this Portland team. I like backing them. I have them at 2.5 on the opener. I don't like the fact that I'm going to be forced to potentially give them out at a 2-point worse line. But I'm just not ready to say, yeah, I'm going to fade VMI first halves and then I'm going to ride the opponent full game. So I'm just going to end up taking the full game under. I think that because of that low shooting that we're talking about, Portland's not going to want to get into an up and down game with them. That's not their style right now. So I'm going to have to be looking at a full game under because of this line move. And I'm going to do a parlay involving Portland on the money line along with Purdue and New Mexico State.
Okay, let's do all that, but there's 4s available at Circa, and Matty Ice found a 3.5 at BetMGM.
What's the juice on the 3.5 though?
-110.
Then sign me up for that. That's only a point more.
All right, great job.
I just didn't want to take a 4.5 or a 5.
No, absolutely. Portland -3.5 at -110, available at BetMGM. Then we're going to talk full game under before we do the parlay. So
yeah,
we have Circa hanging the 147, and let's see if we can beat that. Wow, it's going down really fast. I can't believe they're still hanging the 147. It's 145.5 everywhere else, and this is a line that's available to be bet right this second. Wow. Okay, under 147 at -110. Under 140. Max puts out his first under and like a genie. Noli nose appears. And then we have the parlay. What was the parlay?
So it's going to be New Mexico State, Purdue, and Portland money line parlay plus 222.
New Mexico State, Purdue, Portland, moneyline parlay at plus 222. And that concludes Max's college basketball card. Let's review his action once more. Cornell -7 at -112. New Mexico State Aggies -105 on the money line. Then he's tripling up on the Iowa-Purdue game. Purdue first half -6.5, -113. First half total over 75 at -110. And the team total for Purdue over 86.5 at -105. Then we have Portland -3.5 at -110. The under 147 in VMI Portland. And he's got a parlay that includes New Mexico State, Purdue, and Portland, all on the money line at plus 222. Max, thank you so much. Saturated wants to talk Rutgers, Illinois. You know where you can find our guy, Maxwell Smart, 5 p.m. Eastern on NCAA Net Profits. They have a 20-minute question and answer period, and he goes over all the big games with Connor Mack. So roll up on that spot. Love it. Daniel Zomerdijk going down to Tijuana for the weekend. That sounds real nice, man.
Enjoy the ladies of the night down there.
They are wild. They are wild. Max, thank you so much for your time. Follow him on Twitter at CBMS420. Max, any last words for the Cappers here supporting the show?
Yeah, obviously, honey, never honey mustard. I repeat, honey, never honey mustard. Fuck with your eyes open, guys. Let's get some fucking winners.
There he is. Maxwell Smart in the house. Catch him this evening. We go from NCAA basketball to NBA basketball, coming fresh off a very successful Friday on the show. Please welcome to the show, Derl Rice, a.k.a. It's Derl in the house.
Yo, what is good, Jimmy? How you doing, brother, man? It is a pretty damn good Friday, man. Had a good week. Yeah, last week was real good. Had my Lucky Charms with me, man. So I think that's what it was. So I am happy to be back as always. And let's look at some winners today, brother. I'm ready.
I love it. Coming off an excellent day. I had a 3-in-1 day after the work that we did together. It was a rare winning day for me in NBA. It's been tough. At this point right now, of the 6 sports that we're capping, I'm in the black in 5 of them, and I'm getting killed in the NBA. So I expect that to change. I'm coming off a 1-in-1 day. The Raptors was perfect. And then the under was a mistake in the Suns game. All right, let's get right to work. It's Derl rolling with us. I'm going to move over to NBA and make sure that we got everything set up here. And the market moves. Also, Lamont Williams' max bet, one of them, is involved here in this first game. The Miami solo team total under 100.5. We start at 7 p.m. Eastern with the Miami Heat 13-9, 7-6 on the road at Indiana Pacers 9-15, 6-5 at home. We're in Indianapolis, Indiana. Miami 27th in pace over the last 5 games, 95.90 possessions a game, while the Pacers are 16th at 98.45 possessions a game. Both teams have major injury issues. We will go over all of that right now. First off, though, let's give you a line. Indiana opening up as 5-point favorites, now 5.5 across the board. Bulldogs still hanging the 5. This total opened up at 208.5 and is dropping. We see 207s. We see 206.5.
Yeah.
We go over to the money in this one. We have 2,042 tickets in. 31% of the tickets are on the Heat, but 83% of the cash, and yet the market's moving a half point towards Indiana. 61% of tickets on the over. We don't have that up yet. Heat have lost 2 straight and 3 of 4. They come in off a 111-85 loss at home to the Cavs on Wednesday. It's possible that Miami will get Jimmy Buckets back. He's missed the past 2 games with the bruised tailbone, scoring 23.6 points a game. But Bam Bam going to be gone for a while. Their leader in rebounds at 10.2, third in scoring at 18.7. He is getting a surgery on his right thumb on Sunday, expected to miss 6 weeks. Duncan Robinson has been atrocious of late, 31.8% from 3. That's very tough when that is your sole mission on the floor is to hit 3. 0 for 7 from the floor, 0 for 6 from 3. That snapped his 69-game streak with at least 1 3-pointer. That was second longest streak in the NBA. Pacers have lost 3 straight and 4-5. They come in off a 114-111 loss at home to Atlanta on Wednesday. They got Miles Turner back from a non-COVID illness. Turner's a monster, right? Leading the NBA last season with 3.4 blocks per game at 2.8 right now. This is the second game of the 6-game homestand for the Pacers. Brogdon and Sabonis are rolling. Chris Duarte playing well, but TJ McConnell, who's been a big piece of the puzzle here, 8.4 points, 4.8 assists, left the game with a wrist injury and didn't return. Carlisle said yesterday that he will be sidelined for a long time. They're already out Justin Holiday and, of course, TJ Warren. Take it away here, Derl. First game on the card, Heat Pacers.
Here we go, man. So I just want to confirm, I have Butler out.
That's what they're saying here in the chat, too. Bon Quick saying
I have Butler out. So that tailbone, I have him out, Jimmy.
Yeah, that's a big part of this cap. So
so perfect. That makes sense. And that solidifies my pick for this game. So, man, this is what I like, really. Miami hasn't played in 2 days, but they do play tomorrow. Indy hasn't played in 2 days, but they don't play for another 3 days, right? So you can essentially go balls to the wall here with this team. Now, the team is decimated. No Jimmy Buckets, no Bam Adebayo. You will have probably Dwayne Dedman on half a leg out there. But other than that, this is a game to where I feel you could get some scoring in. Now, you always have to be aware of Duncan Robinson and Tyler Hero making threes. So I didn't want to touch the spread, even though I do think this gets out of hand for Miami. What I decided to look at was Indy's strength. And what have we been saying for the last 6 weeks now? Indy's a great first half team and terrible in the second half. They just don't make whatever adjustments needs to be made. There's one chat I was a part of, and they said it's the Lloyd Pierce curse, really, because I believe he's the assistant coach for the Pacers now with Carlisle. So whatever it is, man, this team does not get it together in the second half. But do you know that they are now ranked number 1 in first half points scored? Like, they put up points. And another thing is they're ranked number 1 in the league in first half points. You have to look that up. That's crazy. I don't think you're going to get much defense here. And this is a time to expose, in my opinion, a decimated Miami. So I looked at the team total. They're averaging about 57 points. You get a decimated Miami. They're going to allow 54 team total points in the first half here. I did take that play. Indiana Pacers, team total 54 points. That is my first play of the day.
First half team total for the Pacers. Sorry, let me just move over here right now. That move makes a lot of sense. First half team total for the Pacers, 54.5. I'm going to line shop and make sure that is the best that we can.
Yeah. See if you can give me a better number. I'm probably going to have that a little juiced also.
I will. First half, we're going to go to this team total right now. 53.5 at Pinnacle, and it's juiced to the under as this total continues to drop. So we can get you the over 53.5 at -102.
Yeah, I'll take it. I'll jump on that. You just can't tell me that Miami's going to really shut down and play defense against a team who averages almost 60 points without Bam Adebayo or Jimmy Buckets in the game.
I like it. I think it makes a ton of sense. Sorry, I'm laughing so much, chat. Okay, I need to stay focused here. Let's move on to the next spot on the board. But Derl is locked in. First half team total over 53.5 -102 for the Indiana Pacers. Next up, 7 p.m. Eastern, Cleveland Cavaliers at Washington Wizards. Cavs 12-10, 7-4 on the road. Wizards 14-8, 8-2 at home. Washington, D.C. We have our guy Dan Kelly, who's been all over this Cavs team since the beginning of the year, and he just played a 50-1 bet yesterday on them to win the Eastern Conference. Pace 11th over the last 5 games, 98.9 possessions game, while Washington is 20th at 97.80 possessions.
Wait a minute. To win the Eastern Conference?
Yeah.
Wow. Dan's got a pair on him, man. That's kind of crazy.
That front court, zero jokes, man. Zero jokes in that front court. Washington opening at -4. There are still a couple fours, mostly 3.5s on the board. This total at 207, now at 208.5. And let's take a look at where the cash lies on this. And we have 54% of the tickets on the Cavaliers, 62% of the cash. Then we have 60% of the tickets on the under and 71% of cash on that under. Cleveland comes in off their third straight win, 111-85 beatdown of the Heat in Miami. Cavs were 16-31 from 3. They've won all 3 of those games by double digits. The run has coincided with the return of Evan Mobley. They're 9-2 in their last 11 games with Mobley in the lineup. Wizards coming off their third win in 4 games, 115-107 at home versus Minnesota. Montrezl Harrell and Daniel Gafford both playing very big out there and giving them big minutes. How long will that continue for? How do we get paid in this game? Derl, take it away. Cavs, Wizards.
Yeah, this is crazy because you do have kind of the battle of the bigs. You've got Evan Mobley, you've got Larry Nance, and then you have Jared Allen on one side, and then you've got Gafford or Daniel Gafford. And I don't really think he's the best big, but he has come alive, and that's Montrezl Harrell. But what's going on with Bill and Dinwiddie, man? I really don't know. I mean, Kuz is going to Kuz. You know that for sure. But I don't know really what's going on with Spencer Dinwiddie. You look at their last games. I think Kuz gave you 5. Spencer gave you maybe 12 or less. I mean, those guys are just not right for whatever reason. So Washington started off strong. Then they've kind of regressed a little. And then you start to see that a little more. I'm going to show you another angle that I do like. As of Wednesday, and this was on OddsShark, Cavaliers are ranked first in first quarter ATS. They are a total overall 15-6. They are worse at home than away. They are 6-5 at home ATS and 9-1 away ATS in first quarter spreads. I believe this is a good time as well to jump on a team who plays pretty good away, who has really come alive without the young bull there. And so I stepped all on Cleveland first quarter +2. I believe that this is a team actually that is going. You could even go money line here, to be honest with you. But yeah, I did take Cleveland +2 first quarter. I believe there's money there only because they just have a really solid record of just playing up to their, I guess up a notch, if you want to call it that, when they're away. So I do like Cleveland first quarter +2. I stepped on that already.
We have first halves at +2, but the first quarters are at
+1. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Yep, you're right.
+1. The +1's at -111, while the money line is at +112. What would you prefer to have on your card?
I'm going to still go with the +1. I won't be greedy, just in case I got to push it. I know. Think you might as well just take the money line, but yeah, I'm going to stick with the +1.
There's funny stuff going on in the chat. Right now, Mally Mal laughed at.
I can't see the chat, man. What's going on? What are they saying?
Mally Mal laughed at Dan Kelly's bet to win the Cavs to win the East. So Dan Kelly he'll now double down on that bet. He says, when Mally Mal laughs at one of my bets, it always wins. I love these guys, man. We've been capping together for so long. I just love them.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're gonna lock in Cavs first quarter. Now Dan Kelly is on the Cavs first half +1. And
+1 first half.
Oh, sorry, Cavs first half +2.
Okay.
And you are on the Cavs first quarter +1. And Billy Friedrich is on the first half under in Cavs Wizards. Stay focused. Jared TG says that first quarter +1 is great. Says I'm on the first half, but wouldn't mind the first quarter. Viper MB liking the Cavs early as well.
Yeah.
And we roll on. So Cavs first quarter +1 and -111 for Derl, and Pacers first half team total over 53.5 at -102. We are rolling. Next up for us is Philadelphia 76ers 11-11, 6-6 on the road at Atlanta Hawks, 12-10, 8-2 at home. North Ender said, "Don't put on Mally Malcolm. You and Derl laugh too." Look, I didn't laugh. I don't laugh at 51s. Last week on Saturday, I bet the Niners to win the conference at 30-1 and the Super Bowl at 60-1. You never talk a friend off a dog bet. You talk them off of favorite bets. I love Dan Kelly and I love his NBA action. And if I was to laugh, it'd just be out of joy.
Yeah,
out of pure joy.
Dan's gonna mess around and hit that, bro. I'm telling you right now.
Man, the guy doesn't fool. He's just a huge addition to the group. All right, let's roll on. Philadelphia 76ers, 11-11, 6-6 on the road. Hawks, 12-10, 8-2 at home. We're in Atlanta, Georgia. Philly pace the last 5 games, 26th in the NBA, 96.3 possessions a game. Yeah. Atlanta, 24th at 97 possessions a game. Sixers have lost 3 of 4, and we really get an idea of how COVID affects people differently with what it did to Embiid. He did say that he felt like he wasn't going to make it, and it's showing on the floor. Atlanta opening up as 1.5-point favorites. That's moved to 2. This total opened up at 213, and it's up to 216 or 216.5. So we see a half-point move to the Hawks. We have 3,354 tickets in. 71% of the tickets, 76% of the cash on the Hawks, and a move from 1.5 to 2. Kind of fishy. 50% of the tickets on the total on either side, but 97% of cash on the under. And we see this a lot when we talk about sports insights. We see this a lot when the total moves 3.5 to 4 points. Huge bets come in on the other side.
Right.
They're coming off an 88-87 loss at Boston on Wednesday. Embiid was just 3 of 17 from the field. He did have 18 boards. Hawks have won 8 of 9. They're coming off a 114-111 win at Indiana. Trae Young went for 33 and 10. He has 30 in 5 straight games. Nate McMillan missed Wednesday's game as part of the league's health and safety protocols. It's unclear whether he'll be on the bench against the Sixers. Chris Gent did guide them to the victory. Mike M says 76ers revenge spot here. Let's see what Derl has to say. Sixers Hawks.
Yeah, this is a pass for me. I'll just tell you outright. There's nothing about this game that I like. That line is short. It just seems like a lot of people will just, subconsciously jump all on Atlanta here. You're right. Embiid does not look right about now. But I did see a look ahead here. They don't play until the 5th. I believe Atlanta plays on the 6th. They both play Charlotte, right? Or is it the other way? Yeah. So Atlanta plays on the 5th. Philly plays on the 6th. Atlanta plays Charlotte on the 5th, in which a game they probably might get up for, and then Philly plays them on the 6th. I believe, in my opinion, that that's the game to play. You play Philly against Charlotte on the 6th, their next game. This game right now, Atlanta should win this, but this is a revenge spot. You know what they did to them also in that was the semis last season. You've got everybody pretty much that you're going to have on Philly. This just seems like a game they should win, but it's Atlanta at home. So there's just too many moving factors. I didn't want to jump into this game at all because my mind basically says Atlanta should win this game, but you do have that revenge angle. I had the total at 213 with Atlanta minus 2.18. But this is a game that Philly could kind of get back up for, especially since they gave that game away to Boston. I don't know what Doc was thinking there with his last play of the game. So, yeah, I would go with Atlanta, even though it looks like a Philly spot here. But the better spot, if you want to take Philly, is going to be against Charlotte on their back-to-back after they play Atlanta. So no play for me here as well.
No play in Philadelphia, Atlanta. Yeah, I can understand from a motivational standpoint being worried about the Sixers carrying a lot here.
Mm-hmm.
But the Hawks just seem like quite a bit better basketball team.
Yeah, but you got some guys out now, right? So you don't have Boggs. You don't have Cam Reddish there, right? I mean, we have talked about even in the beginning of the season how deep Atlanta was, but man, I mean, you're running out of moving parts here. You're running out of important set pieces. So it's not like these are just like your, 8, 9, and 10 guys, right? These are these guys that are closer to 6, 7, possible starters if there's another starter hurt. So I don't like that. And then Hunter. I mean, Hunter is just snake bit. So there's just too many people out for Atlanta for me to be confident enough for them to take this win. That's why that line is short. And you've got everybody available that you are going to have, for the exception of Grant Riller. I think his name is Riller. So yeah, it's too many moving parts. When you got that when you have that many moving parts, stay the fuck off the game.
Makes a lot of sense. Makes a lot of sense. Let's move on to the next spot on the board. 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Minnesota Timberwolves 11-11, 4-5 on the road at Brooklyn Nets. 15-6, 7-4 at home. We're in Brooklyn, New York. Minnesota paced last 5 games 7th at 99.55 possessions a game, while Brooklyn is 13th at 98.70 possessions a game. Brooklyn opening up as 7.5-point favorites. That's right across the board right now. Looks like Will Hill's moved theirs to 7. This total opened up at 219.5, and we now have 222s on the board. When we get over to the cash, we have 2,572 tickets in, 63% of the tickets, 72% of the cash on the Brooklyn Nets, 63% of the tickets, and 99% of the cash on the under. Strange. Small sample size still with the ticket base, but let's go. Minnesota had their 2-game winning streak snapped in a 115-107 loss at Washington on Wednesday. With about 2 minutes left in the game, Cat lands hard on his back.
Yeah.
And x-rays were negative. We don't know if he's going to be in the lineup. I don't know if anybody has the inside scoop there. Questionable.
Yeah, he's questionable. Yeah, he's questionable. But
34 points before he left with 2:16 left. And Edwards been dealing with flu-like symptoms. He still put up 25. The guy's a gamer. D'Angelo Russell was 3 of 18 from the field, 1 of 12 from 3, held to 10 points in that loss. And the Nets come in with back-to-back home games now. They have Minnesota tonight, Chicago tomorrow night. Nets come in up their 5th win in 6 nights, 112-110. At home versus the Knicks on Wednesday night. Harden and Durant went for 61 combined. Harden, 28 of his 34 points in the first half, went 11 of 20 from the field, 10 boards, 8 assists. And on Tuesday, with Joe Harris out indefinitely and Blake Griffin writing comedy sketches on the bench as he wants to do so badly. That's what he'd prefer to do. That's what he likes. He wants to be a comic. The problem is he's an amateur comic. He's about as good of a basketball player as he is a stand-up comic right now, but he's trying to be a stand-up comic at this point. So with those guys out, Cam Thomas was the only reserve to play 20 minutes. I don't know how they can't possibly do that tonight on the first half of a back-to-back. They're going to need to play some role players, some bench players more.
Right.
So it's interesting to see how this one will bang out. Take it away for us here, Derl. Timberwolves, Brooklyn Nets.
Okay, so this is their first matchup this year, right? And Brooklyn mopped the shit out of them last year for what it's worth, right? So it's really no competition there. Brooklyn does, as you stated, have a back-to-back. So we know that they could take their foot off the gas in the second half, depending on how up they are in the first half and more importantly, the third quarter. Minnesota has a strong second quarter, right? Or I take that back. Looking at the numbers, Minnesota doesn't have a strong second quarter number, which is why they are ranked number 6 in the first quarter, but number 12 as far as first half points. Now, Brooklyn has a good first half over-under record, but it's not good at home. It's better away. So I was trying to find an angle here in which to take this team. I don't see any advantage at all. I do have this total being 223 and Brooklyn minus 6.3. So it doesn't even cover the number. This should be one of those games to where Brooklyn just goes out and smash them, right? But once again, you don't know who's going to play for Minnesota. If Anthony Edwards is playing, which he probably might play, just give him some Theraflu and some Pedialyte, should be good to go for this game because they have a long break, if you want to call it that. I just think this is a game to where they could probably get off, and this game should get over easily. So the fact that it's also sitting right now at 222, I could see that. There's just not going to be any defense on Minnesota's end. And Brooklyn, they can decide whether to play defense or not. If they take their foot off the gas and don't crunch down, then yeah, this is going to be a high-scoring game. So again, you don't know which players are playing. You don't know if Cat is playing. If he's not playing, there's definitely no defense going on. Not that he plays defense, but that is just all open paint. If Anthony Edwards doesn't play, then you could possibly see that team total not being as high because that is your man. That is your guy that's going to score you the points. And then you're missing guys like Jaden McDaniels, Jalen Noel. These guys matter, right? These guys all matter. They're all set pieces. D'Lo can get in there and make a difference. I don't like him. You know how I feel about D'Lo. So once again, this is another game that has too many moving parts, in my opinion, to make a confident play. And every time I've bet Brooklyn, every damn time, Jimmy, I went on Brooklyn's side, I've got burned, right? So this is kind of one of my teams where I'm like, yo, I don't know if I want any smoke with this team until I can just find a better advantage or better angle. So yeah, this is a no play for me here. If I did have to make a play, you've just got to look at either the over or the team total over for Brooklyn.
Yeah, that makes sense. Piker saying Brooklyn and Minnesota trending in opposite directions against the spread of late. Razor sharp picks, cash and exactas at Aqueduct, the big A. All right. Astute Chaos says Brooklyn should push the pace. Minnesota doesn't play defense. Astute Chaos says, yeah, it's situational with Brooklyn. Chris Martinez says Minnesota might cover. Piker says Brooklyn super tight line here. Dog or pass. All right, Let's move on to the next spot. No move for Derl in Timberwolves, Brooklyn Nets. Next up, we have 8 p.m. Eastern, Orlando Magic at Houston Rockets. Magic 5-18, 3-10 on the road. Rockets 5-16, 4-5 at home. We go to Houston, Texas for this one. We have Houston opening up as 2.5-point favorites. It's where they stand right now. This total opened up at 218, and it's now at 217. We go over to the cash in this one. We have 1,500 tickets in, 29% of the tickets on Orlando, 62% of the cash. So sharp money coming in on the Magic here to stop this Rocket winning streak. 65% of tickets are on the under. We don't know the cash flow at this point. All right.
Yeah.
Orlando pace last 5, 8th in the NBA, 99.2 possessions game, while Houston continues to be the fastest team pace-wise. Last 5 games, they're 102.17 possessions a game. Orlando snapped their 7-game losing streak with a 108-103 win at home over Denver on Wednesday, and it was just all Cole Anthony. I mean, they lose every game that Cole Anthony's not in. He comes back to the lineup, goes for 24 points, 8 boards, and 7 assists, and they win. 9th 20-point game of the season. He's the Magic's leading scorer and for points and assists. Against Houston, coming off their 4th straight win, 114-110 at OKC on Wednesday night. It was impressive. 41-point fourth quarter from these guys, playing without Jalen Green, who's missed his 3 straight games, losing Christian Wood, losing Kevin Porter Jr.
Yeah.
And then Jayshawn Tate is an absolute monster. A shout out to Tease, our guy, low bagger Tease, who's been cashing these Jayshawn Tate props nonstop. But what a performance. 32 points, 10 boards, 7 assists. Garrison Matthews, Armani Brooks playing well. Mm-hmm. A very interesting spot here. We need, obviously, to get the insight on what's going on with Christian Wood and Kevin Porter. But take it away here, Derl, Orlando, Houston.
Yeah, man. Another pass for me here. Another pass just for the point you just made right now. KPJ is out and Wood. Are these guys going to play? I mean, we know right now that Wood is probable.
Wood's probable,
KPJ is out indefinitely, who's a huge, role in that team, if you ask me. So you did have some supportive cast come up and play. Houston is quietly, I think they have the second best winning streak right now in the NBA behind the Phoenix Suns. But you still got two shitty teams. Both these team wins equal 10, right? So this is a game that I don't want to get involved with, only because you don't have the right players playing, specifically Kevin Porter, and you may not have Christian Wood playing on Houston to make this team go. And so now you've got a little bit of time for you to game plan against these set pieces. Who's cashing on those props?
My man Tease. And Tease, we really look up to all the guys who gamble for a living.
Yeah.
Gamble for a living, pay for your daughter's education by gambling, that sort of thing. And that's our guy Tease. He gambles for a living. So
what's the props on his does he have a prop play today?
I don't even know if he's in the chat. I don't know if he's in the chat.
No,
here.
not Tease, but is there any prop points for Jay Sean today?
Let me pull up Jay Sean right now. Now they might keep him off the board right now because of the question. No, but they don't.
Right.
They're not keeping him off. Here we go. Jay Sean points is at 15.5, heavily juiced to the under.
Yeah.
His rebounds are at 6.5, very heavily juiced to the over at -155.
Yeah. Okay. I'm off of it. I was thinking maybe you would still see a 12 or something like that, but maybe that 30-point performance just smashed that, or maybe if anything, it's still going up. I don't know. Maybe people have already smashed it.
He's been cashing the Jay Sean Tate double doubles. I remember he got it at +700 last week, and it was his whole day was completely changed because of Jay Sean Tate double. Like his whole, it didn't matter. All the other action didn't matter. Became moot because of the Jay Sean double at +700.
Yeah.
Let's just take a look at what the Jay Sean double is here now, because I know he got +700 before. Now it's +425.
I'm over it. Nope. I'm not going to touch it.
All right. Okay, let's roll on off of that spot for our man Derl. Again, coming off a great Friday with us last week, and you will be seeing more of Derl here on this channel. We move on to 8:30 p.m. Eastern. New Orleans Pelicans 6-18, 3-10 on the road at Dallas Mavericks 11-9, 6-3 at home. Pelicans pace last 5, 19th in the NBA, 98.3 possessions a game, while Dallas is now the slowest team in the NBA over the last 5 games.
Yes, sir.
94.33 possessions a game. They open up at -7.5 at -105. They're now -7.5 at +102 at Pinnacle, so a move towards the Pelicans. This total opened up at 216.5 to the over. Now it's on the under. And I found this game extremely interesting and wanted to hear your take on it. By the way, I have pretty much decided that I'm going to be moving on the Magic in the game against the Rockets. I think that one of the things that I love is when a team is dealt with adversity and they rise to the occasion. I love fading that shit the next game out because this shit is not a Disney movie. And I just love not believing in that shit. And here is a similar situation where I was on Dallas, one of my few good moves in the NBA season thus far. And I'm going to keep shooting. I'm going to keep shooting, but I've definitely cut down my quantity of action. Dallas, I expected them to bounce back, and we took them it was -3 on the show. I had to bet them at 3.5, which screwed me with Washington because they were -4 on the show, and then they were 4.5, and I didn't even move at the 4.5, but I still moved on this Dallas spot. And they had been playing very bad basketball. Then they shoot 68.7% from the floor. They're absolutely spectacular. They had lost 5 of 6 coming in. They go, 18 of 34 from 3, 57 of 83 from the field. Luka goes for 18 in the first quarter. They're up 41-23 after the first quarter. I like to bet against that spot, but why I was so interested in this game and wanting to hear from you is that the Mavericks have very comfortably beaten the Pelicans twice already this year now.
Yeah.
And is it a situational nightmare for this Pelican squad is what I want to know. Or do I want – because I love betting against a team that shoots 68% from the field the next time out And Pelicans were playing good ball. So I'd love to hear your thoughts here. Take it away, Derl. Pelicans, Mavericks.
Jay, I did make a move on this. So the play I made was New Orleans +2 first quarter. New Orleans +2 first quarter. Now, Dallas put up a fucking 40 burger on them in the first quarter last game. And mind you, this is the third game, right? Dallas has already got them twice. Do you know, even with that 40 burger, New Orleans still averages more first quarter points than Dallas? So to speak to your point, how Dallas is a very slow-paced team, they don't score points in the first quarter. I'm willing to bet that doesn't happen again. Even in the first game that they played, New Orleans had them 27-24. New Orleans is averaging almost 28 points in the first quarter to Dallas's 26. New Orleans put up, I believe it was 19 points in that first quarter. And they're still averaging more points than Dallas. So 3 times the charm, man. I still don't think Jason Kidd is the greatest coach. And I believe New Orleans can put up a fight. You've seen the game plan twice already. I believe New Orleans can turn around and actually win this game, to be honest with you. But I don't want to step on what Dallas is doing. And when you have a team's number, man, you just have a team's number, bottom line. And this could be one of those cases here. But I did step on New Orleans first quarter. I do believe New Orleans got embarrassed last game, and they do try to at least be competitive and turn that around. Remember, Dallas did have a home and home, if you want to call that, against the Clippers, in which they beat them the first time, lost to them the second time, I believe. And the game that they lost, the Clippers did beat them in the first quarter. So this is one of those games to where I believe New Orleans can get up for the first quarter. I do believe that. They already average more points than Dallas. This is one of those games to where you're actually getting more points now because of the beatdown Dallas put on New Orleans. So this spread shouldn't even be this high, provided Dallas didn't just rout them from start to finish, you know? So you're not going to see that type of performance from New Orleans again. I do believe you might get Josh Hart in there, who could give you some scoring as well. He's day-to-day, not completely out. So I do like New Orleans first quarter +2.
I love the bet. Very, very low juice at Pinnacle, -102. I think this is great. Great look. It appeals to me very much. I did it in hockey last night. I thought that the Sabres could come out flying now that they were healthy, but we didn't want them full game. We cashed +180 on them in the first period, and they lose the game 5-4. But they were up 3-0 after the first. Why? Yeah. You know what? But even though I kind of like Pelicans full game here as well, but I think that's a great spot.
I was looking at that. You know, Jim, I came really close, but God, man, I kind of feel like a fucking broken record. But some of these teams just do really good first half, and then they just don't have a good game plan second half. Some of these teams, New Orleans kind of fits in that category to where they will fight, right? But they just break down, man, in the fourth quarter sometimes. You'll see these guys fight first and second quarter. They are in that upper half of first half scoring teams. But for whatever reason, man, they just can't get it together in the second half. So I just had to step on the first quarter because they are a better first quarter team than Dallas. And I just don't see Dallas putting up another 41 points against a team who averages more. You learn from your mistakes. You get into your actions, right? You've got to help on your rotations. And now that you've already played this team twice, you should get a feel of what they're going to do. I don't see Jason Kidd making very many adjustments. As a matter of fact, I don't see him making any type of adjustment versus playing the same game since you did smack him, 139 or something. So, yeah, this is a game here where New Orleans can get him.
I absolutely love it. Also, the market following suit here. 21% of tickets right now are on the Pelicans, 71% of the cash. Then you have 51% of tickets on the under, 81%. I love this. I think this. I've cut $25 off of my unit size in basketball, and I'm not afraid to cut 25 more. And I want Pelicans first quarter. I also want them full game now. Sammy Comer, play of the day, Hawks. We've had some great stuff coming in from the chat. There's a reason why I'm in the black in 5 of the 6 sports right now. And it's because of us all working together and the information that comes in from the chat. So Chris Martinez has let us know that KP is doubtful.
Jump on New Orleans, bro.
KP is doubtful here. So great stuff from the guys in the chat. And the first quarter I love. All right, let's move on to the next spot on the board. Sorry.
Who's talking shit?
No one's talking shit. I just I can't. I just the next guest. Our next guest is coming from a very, very exciting place. I don't. I can't. I got okay. I gotta stay focused here.
All right, man.
DJ Big Boss. DJ Big Boss is on the way, and he's not fucking around today. He's not fucking around. Okay, gotta stay focused. Here. God, I love this. I swear it doesn't matter what's happening outside.
Yeah,
because I can come back to this, and it just, I just am so thankful. Okay, let's get to work. Next up, 9 p.m. Oh, yeah, Derl? Are we gonna add something there? Okay.
No, I was just saying, yeah. That's me saying, yeah. 9
p.m. Eastern. Boston Celtics 12-10, 6-6 on the road at Utah Jazz 14-7, 8-4 at home. Salt Lake City, Utah. Boston 21st in pace over the last 5 games, 97.70 possessions a game. Utah 17th at 98.4 possessions a game. Celtics come in off their second straight win, 88-87 at home over the Sixers on Wednesday. It was a pretty ugly basketball, and it brings us back to the old days. Tatum 26 points and 16 boards. And, Schroeder comes in with 13 off the bench. Williams goes for 10 and 3 blocks. Al Horford, 10 points, 8 boards, and 5 blocks. I love that basketball. I don't like the step backs. When we play here in Parkdale at Queen Victoria, these kids who are like, we play against the 14, 15-year-olds, and they beat us. But they're all step back threes, nonstop step back threes.
Yeah,
there's the paint is wide open for me to sweat in, and nobody else seems to be there. And I love the basketball that we saw in this game. Celtics kept. I don't know if it was this. You can tell me, Derl. Is it the Celtics defense that held Embiid to 13 points, or is he just having trouble breathing?
Yeah. I think it's a little bit of both, but I would say that's more Embiid than the Celtics. You're going to see that tonight. It's going to completely change. So I'll tell you now. Don't be afraid of this damn number. I am all on Utah. Utah -8, or it's at 7.5. My number is -8. This is a number a game that is going to get out of hand for Boston. I believe you're going to see the value of Brown. You really are. You're going to see how valuable Jaylen Brown is, and why. Danny Ainge would not give that guy up for nothing at all. So I like Utah to win this game. Boston plays tomorrow, right? A lot of people they're going to look at this number. They're going to be like, no, this is Celtics. What's going to happen really is Utah's going to shoot them out of the building. I believe that. So call it square, call it what you want to. I am on Utah -7.5 right now. You probably see that number go up. Utah doesn't play for 2 days after that. They've had a long rest. I believe. When is it the last time they played? The 29th?
Yeah, they haven't played since that 129-107 win on Monday over the Blazers.
Yeah, so they've had a pretty long rest at that as well. So now you get chance. Snyder Quinn, the serial killer, has a chance to game plan against a team that does not have Brown playing today. He's out. And you do have, you have some size with Williams, right? But I just don't think it's enough. I don't think Al Horford is enough. I don't think Robert Williams III is enough to play against Gobert. There's just too much finesse there. So I believe there's enough time for Utah to get this game under control. Boston plays tomorrow. I like Utah all day here. So I did take that. I don't know what you have. I had it at 7.5. I don't know if that's what you still have. I'm going to jump on this. I'm jumping all on this. Give me Utah minus. I don't give a fuck what the spread is here.
I will do that for you because this is also the 4th game of this 4-game homestand, and they've not looked good this year. And just like the Atlanta Hawks did with their homestand, just like the Milwaukee Bucks did with their homestand, these very good teams have got their shit together at home. Clarkson went for 22 off the bench. Rudy went for 21 and 16. They shot 52.8% from the floor and 41.3% from 3. And they committed just 5 turnovers. I mean, they were playing almost perfect basketball. They held Damian Lillard to 11 points. Royce O'Neal did not play against Portland. He's questionable here, and as
he's questionable.
Ruled out with an ankle injury. I think he was sorry. I think that's a note from last game. Actually, I'll have to double check that right now. Yeah. So here, let's see what I can get you because I believe there are 7.5. No, it's 8 over there at Pinnacle.
So it's moved to 8 already then, huh?
Well, it opened at 8.5 at Pinnacle.
Okay.
So it looks like we've had
The line is going down.
Let's see here if I can get some pertinent information. Yeah. So it opened at 8.5 at 9:42 this morning. Didn't come out until 9:42.
Yeah.
Then it went to, that's Eastern, so 6:42 your time. Then it went down to 8. Then it went down to 7.5. It just moved back to 8 15 minutes ago.
Yeah.
So we still have 7.5s on the board for you, I believe. Let me see.
Yeah, I'll take a 7.5, so I don't have a push. But honestly, man, I mean, just like I had spoken about the, I believe it was Boston at San Antonio last week, where that was the game where I'm like, listen, San Antonio is going to get up and get these boys, right? This is how I feel about Utah. This is one of these games, in my opinion, to where Boston's not going to have an answer for that offense that they're going to provide for them. Now, Boston has been playing better defense. That's fine. I get it. But you lose a lot of value with Brown out, right? You lose a lot of value with Brown out, a lot of defensive help as well. So you're going to depend on Marcus Smart. That's not enough, not against Utah. You're going to depend on a little bit of, I guess Al Horford can give you some defense in the paint, but not much offense. So, yeah, this is one of those things that's going to get out of hand for Boston, and Utah should win by double digits.
And going up against Nasty Nate, who is on his Celtics on the money line for a big score. Dan Kelly saying Udoka is a fade. Dan Kelly, by the way, is on the third quarter, Boston at Utah over 54. Third quarter over in Boston, Utah. That's a fascinating game. I'm going to be moving on. Great breakdowns, Derl. We have 2 games left here, and they're very, very, very fun. And then we have DJ Big Boss joining us for college football breakdowns. So we go up next to 10 p.m. Eastern. Phoenix Suns at Golden State Warriors. Warriors are 18-3, 11-1 at home, and the Suns are on a franchise record 18-game winning streak, sitting at very impressive. Phoenix paced the last 5 games, 10th at 99 possessions a game. Warriors 17th at 98.4 possessions a game. Foxy, thank you, my man. Foxy, thank you for the kind words. We have Warriors had their 7-game winning streak snapped by the Suns on Tuesday's 104-96 loss. And I was on when Ski and I were kind of arguing about who wanted the game more.
Yeah.
I was certain, and he firmly, strongly disagreed with me, but I was certain that the Suns wanted that game more in my head. I thought that they knew that if they could tie the franchise record by beating the Warriors, they would cash the franchise record against the Pistons, and then they could let go in Golden State. Now, we didn't realize that Booker went down.
Okay, wait a fucking minute, because I thought I had this conversation. Did they tie the record with Golden State, or did they break the franchise record with Golden State?
They broke it with Detroit. They tied it with Golden State.
That's what I fucking thought. That's what I thought. I'm going to have a talk with Ski. I was on his show, right? And in his green room, and I believe Ski had said that they had broken it with Golden State, but I was like, no, I don't think that's the case, because I was going to be heavy on Phoenix against Detroit. I'm glad I didn't play that game, right? But I said this is going to be the game that they're motivated to break the record. But I just want to make sure, right? They broke the record with Detroit. They tied it with Golden State.
Yes.
Okay.
They did that. And they had no time to celebrate. They quickly boarded a plane to San Francisco.
Yeah.
What we're going to see from the Suns without Booker in San Francisco is very, very, very interesting from a capping situation. The Warriors opening up a -7, -105. They're now -7, -108. And that surprises me. It also surprises me that the first move that happened was that the Suns went to 6.5. I legitimately thought that I'd see a 7.5. I was almost certain. I was certain it would open at 7.5. So when I saw the 7 and then it moved to 6.5, I was like, really? Right. Is that not a bias, a recency bias from gamblers because of how good the Suns have been playing? It just feels like a spot where the Suns could let go. Let go.
Right.
Let's pull up the cash flow and see where the cash lies in this spot. We have 4,438 tickets in. 73% of the tickets on the Warriors, 79% of the cash on the Warriors, 52% of tickets on the over, and 85% of cash on the Warriors. Here we go. Suns, Warriors. Take it away, Derl.
Yeah, so I'll tell you now, and you can either agree or disagree with this. There are some games, Jimmy, to where you don't want to have any money invested into it because you look at the game differently, right? This is one of those games to where I don't want to play. I want to be a fan of the game. Now, honestly, I say that now, but come closer to tip-off, I'm going to probably take the Suns because this is way too many fucking points for Golden State to give or to lay, in my opinion, against a Suns team who is playing some dynamic defense. Steph Curry had an off night because of the defense, not because he just had an off night. That defense was nasty. I don't think people understand how good Mikal Bridges is, bro. Mikal Bridges is the truth. I don't think people understand that Golden State is playing a portion of small ball. They don't have any bigs. So Ayton is going to come in and feast. JaVale McGee is going to come in and do his thing. Chris Paul's an Iron Man, right? This guy is an absolute Iron Man. This dude plays day after day. He doesn't quit. He doesn't give up. And I know we've been talking about how good DeMar DeRozan's, perimeter shooting is. But, bro, we need to start talking about just how much of an assassin CP3 is, man, right outside of that nail. Like, this guy is just shooting like there's no tomorrow, getting his shot off whenever he wants. Nothing about last game tells me that Golden State is going to come and beat Phoenix by 7 points, bro, regardless of the back-to-back. I don't know what the fuck is going on here. I have no idea what's going on here with this number, right? But I did, if you want to be honest and transparent, I'm going to step back. And I did believe that Golden State was the better team. So even though Curry gave you 12 points, Jordan Poole gave you almost a 30 burger, right? So there was points coming in from somewhere else, right? Wiggins only gave you 10. Green gave you 8. So they had a really good plan about containing the chef. They had a good plan about taking Green out of the game because he didn't really get, he had 5 assists. So he's got to get up there in almost double-digit assists to, really get everybody involved. That defense, man, you've got to give it up for the Phoenix defense because they are just doing whatever the fuck they want to whomever the fuck they want. This is a game into which Phoenix should probably not win, but at least not lose by 7 points. I just don't see it. I don't see it, man. So this right here is a game that I want to watch as a fan. As a fan of the NBA, these are the type of games you want to watch. This is a chess match between two very good coaches. So in my head right now, I do want to take Phoenix because I just don't see them losing by a team that they dominated. I just don't know. This game, if Steph is better, then that means you're going to have Poole regress a little bit, right? So I can easily see this game going over. Oh, what's the total right now? Like 216.5. I can see this game going over easily, but I don't see Phoenix losing by 7 points.
So I'm.
One thing I had this total at 222.
Wow.
That's just my number, and I'm not really good at totals, but I did have it at 222.
I'm the opposite in this spot.
Okay.
I think this is possibly my first triple up of the season on the Warriors. I think that this is a smash spot for the
Golden
Warriors.
State. Yeah.
Psychologically, the way I see this is the Suns did it.
Yeah.
They didn't get a chance to celebrate it. They got right on the plane, but all of their bodies were, we did it. We fucking did it. We broke the franchise record. Oh, that feels so good.
Right.
And then they got on the plane to to San Francisco to an opportunity to play other than them, the best team in the league right now, who just lost and played poorly doing it. I think that I'm not, obviously we don't know what the future holds. Just in no way am I saying, I think that's wrong.
Right.
But I think that the Warriors beat the Suns badly here. I think that the Suns are going to let go a little bit here.
Could be.
I
say this. This is what I say. If you listen to the post presser, Kerr said that Monty, I believe this was Kerr's words, they played a zone that he had not seen before. They played a different type of zone on them. So what I mean by chess match is Kerr's going to have to make that adjustment. And I do believe he is great with adjustments. But you'll see if this turns into a game really, really fast based upon the adjustments that Kerr makes to that zone that Monty played against him. Usually, to contain Steph, you play a box and one, right? That's the defense that you play against Steph. He calls it Bush League, rookie. You know, you don't play really a box and one in the NBA. You don't do it. But Monty did show him a zone that he had never seen before. So to your point, Jimmy, because I believe Kerr is a great coach, there's got to be an adjustment made for that zone. This is probably a terrible spot, and maybe the Warriors' revenge is more important than the Suns really getting over that franchise record. So that's why I don't want to play this game at all. I want to watch this as a fan.
I have been doing so poorly in NBA, but this just feels feels like it's a simple spot. Dutch Boy Fresh has jumped in the chat and
Dutch, what's good, brother?
Spot.
What is good, man?
Says Suns get run out of the gym, tired team, Warrior spot. Don't be scared of the 7. And Dan Kelly says you could see the relief in Monty's interview after last night's game. That's the biggest part of this.
Wait, so Dutch likes he likes Golden State?
Yeah, very much. And
very much.
They did it. They broke the franchise record. They did it.
Yeah.
And look, how does that not change the way you've been, your focus here? The night after, you don't get a chance to sit and soak it in. You get right on a plane and have to regroup and face the other best team in the league. Ray Charles says nobody's smashing the Suns. They have too much talent. Warriors win, but won't be an ass whooping.
Yeah, I mean, man, that's crazy. We could go. I mean, we could talk about this game back and forth, but you can't change how good that defense is, right? So,
but you can be tired.
You can be tired, but we just talked about how CP3 is just an Iron Man. That dude played like.
You can be emotionally exhausted.
Fair enough. This is why I'm not playing it. I can't. It's just too many. It's too many moving parts for me. So yeah.
It's a fascinating spot, and with all of you guys saying nobody smashing the Suns, nobody doing that to the Suns, all that stuff, that's why I'm going to get the number that I'm going to receive here.
Oh, wait a minute. So you have a lot of people saying that the Suns get it done too? Are they split?
Oh, yeah. Nobody smashing the Suns.
Okay.
Everyone, a lot of saying that no one can stop Ayton. Philly can keep it close, all this stuff here. And so.
Got you.
So very mixed opinions here.
Okay.
Very mixed opinions. Okay. And Dan Kelly says, I'm going to play this live after listening. If Phoenix gets out to an early lead, I'll bet on Golden State Warriors live. Okay. Yeah. There you have it. So that looks like a big spot for me. And
okay.
We'll see. Let's go into the final game, and then we move into college football at 10 p.m. Eastern. LA Clippers 11-11, 2-4 on the road at the LA Lakers 12-11, 8-6 home. Who would have thought we'd be at this point in the season with these two teams combined for 23 wins and 22 losses? Clippers 23rd in pace at 97.37 possessions a game. Lakers 9th in pace at 99.05. No, Robert Franklin Booker is not playing, and he's definitely not playing. Clippers come in off their third straight loss, 124-115 at home to the Kings on Wednesday. It was a funny spot. Dan really liked the Kings first quarter, and I should have been on it with him, but I thought, the Clippers were embarrassed. Will they come out with fight? No fight to be found. Lakers coming off a 117-92 win at Sacramento on Tuesday night. I know you know these teams inside and out. I can't wait to hear you break this down. So we have Lakers opening up at -1. Now they're -1.5. This total opened up at 214.5. Now it's 218.5. We have 2,357 tickets in. It's all Laker money here. 84% of the tickets, 90% of the cash, then 52% of tickets and 97% of cash on the over. Take it away, Derl. Battle of Los Angeles, where you are right now.
So first off, there is no Battle of Los Angeles here. Let's get this shit straight. This is a Laker fucking state, right? Laker City, Laker State, California. The fandom alone, right? There are better teams, obviously, being Golden State in California, right? But don't get it twisted, man. Lakers run LA. Right? Clippers are the redheaded stepchild. They are the Annies of LA. So there's no battle, but just to kind of clear that up. I don't know what's going on with LeBron. He's probable, so he tested positive for COVID, right? And then he has 2 negative tests, so he doesn't have that 10-day, I guess, sit out. The Lakers frustrate me, bro. They just honestly frustrate me. And so do the Clippers to a certain degree. Clippers should have smacked Sacramento, who just came off a back-to-back, and they get their feelings hurt. And you're trying to tell me that they can't win against Sacramento without Paul George? So now Paul George is playing this game. The line completely flips to where it was +2 LA. Now with the news of LeBron coming back, it's -1.5. I'm going to tell you something, man, that a lot of Laker fans that they may not want to hear this. To like the Lakers play better without LeBron on the court. I believe you've got a better set team without LeBron playing on the court at the same time with Russell Westbrook. And honestly, you've got to start Dwight permanently at the 5, right? No more of this DeAndre Jordan experiment. It's not working. Just stick with Dwight and play Dwight and leave that as your starting 5. But other than that, this is a game that also, if I were to, I'm not playing this game because I don't know what I'm getting out of my Lakers. I really don't. I don't understand this team at all. I mean, I don't understand, first and foremost, I don't understand LeBron. You've seen LeSick go out. You've seen LaFishy come out. You've seen LaCovid. LeBron is starting to have a lot of distractions, man. And this guy is not really playing like how he's played in the past. Talking to my dad, man, he was just like, why is LeBron shooting so many threes now? Like, he's just never seen that as a part of his game. So this is a game that I don't want any action in at all. I probably will stop betting Laker games until after Christmas. Honestly, there's just no value for me to take the Lakers unless they're playing a really shady team, and the point spread is just right. But the Lakers at -1.5, they should beat the Clippers, but I believe that's -1.5 because LeBron is coming back, obviously, and Sacramento just smacked them the hell up. So at this point, the Clippers could easily win this game only because now you're going to use that star player theory if you want to use that. But I don't want any action in this game at all. There's just no need to play the Lakers.
It's a very tough game. Derl Lyles says Clippers were looking ahead last game. Mally Mal says Lakers smack City. Seamus Ignoramus says Clippers got out rebounded by the Pellies. Are going to get trounced on the glass tonight. Lakers full game. Tell me you didn't just say that. Says people still think the Clippers are a top 10 team without Kawhi. They're priced as such. I think they're overrated. That's being said, Lakers are a bit of a mess.
Why would the Lakers? I mean, I know for the aspect of just like popular opinion, but from a competitive aspect, how are they a look ahead game, or they play Sacramento and Sacramento's a look ahead game for anticipation of the Lakers? To a certain degree, yeah, you can say because Paul George sat out that game, they wanted to prepare him for the Lakers, but there's just nothing about the Lakers that's telling me that people are just going to want to really try to get up for them. If anything, they think they're better than them.
I hear that. It's a very complicated spot with these two teams both underachieving the way they are. So I can understand. Zoe Faye says, sounds like an under to me. Spreadsheet stat is on the Lakers at 64%. That is the NBA card with our man. It's Derl. Let's go over action here in this spot. Lamont Williams gave us Miami Heat solo team total under 100.5. Cleveland solo team total under 102.5. Boston solo team total under 101. Our guy Derl gets his card started with the Pacers first half team total over 53.5 at -102. Then he adds in Cavs first quarter +1 at -111, which I like quite a bit. And Dan Kelly's on the first half at +2. Yeah. Then Sixers Hawks is a stay off, as is Wolves Brooklyn. Then Orlando Houston. I'm interested in Orlando. Cole Anthony back seems like a game changer here. And this is a beat up Houston Rockets team that handled it well in the short amount of time after Christian Wood got hurt. Kevin Porter got hurt and Porter not coming back. I don't see them being able to do this again. We'll see. Right. Gerald's on the Pelicans first quarter +2. I love that look, and I like them full game as well. Dan Kelly is also on the Boston Utah third quarter over 54. Celtics Jazz I didn't put this in for you. Jazz -7.5, -110.
Yeah.
Derl. That makes a lot of sense to me. I don't want to say it too loud with Nasty Nate in the chat. But I do think it's a good look. And then I think this is one of the best gambling opportunities of the year with the Warriors here. And I'm thinking very closely about first quarter, first half, full game. And then we are off Clippers, Lakers. Derl, my man, follow him on Twitter @It's Derl. Coming off a huge Friday last week. Let's make it 2 in a row, my guy. Spreadsheet play today. Thank you, Ron. Is on the Warriors as well.
Really, man, you got all these top cats on the Warriors, man. I might get talked on in this game. I got to look back, but god damn, man, this is a game I just want to sit back with some wine, bro. Get just tore up and yell at the TV.
Spreadsheet play today is on the Warriors. Derl, my man, thank you so much for rolling with us. Any last words for these great cappers supporting the show?
Thanks again, bro. Thanks again, man. Let's get it in today. I really feel good about the picks today, man. So let's try to run the table again, and I will see you on next Friday.
We love you, Derl. Enjoy the night. Enjoy Lakers Clippers. There he is. It's Derl in the house. We go from an LA basketball capper to an LA football capper. Originally from Compton, California, now making his home in Long Beach, California. Making his triumphant return to the show. Make some noise for Mr. DJ Big Boss in the house. Boss, what's happening?
What up, Jimmy? I'm coming live from my happy place, a better place, right here with some ladies from the AM, you know what I'm saying? We right here having coffee cake, taking our meds, you know what I'm saying? Charging up the little scooters. We're going to go play a little hide and go get it a little later on, Jimmy. How you feeling today, man?
I'm feeling better now, man. I'm feeling better now, man. Knowing that you're in your happy place where you want to be makes me very, very happy. You got they're all looking at you too, man. They're all very, very interested in you.
Hey, Miss Pearl over here, she just told me she wants to know, do you have man boobs?
Oh yeah. Somebody getting slapped in the face.
Oh man, I don't know, man. She's a wild girl, man. But what's going on, Jimmy? How you feeling today, man? We coming in the championship week, man. It's been a long NCAA football season, man. We've been rocking it out every Saturday, the whole card, man. Me, Big Ragu, Ian, my man Connor, man. We've been having a ball, man. How about you?
Hide and go get it. Matty Ice is worried that that's his grandma back there.
Oh man, look, check this out, man. For all of those out there that think, you know, this is weird, check this out. Santa Claus coming down the chimney is weird too. So don't mess with me. I won't mess with you.
Okay. Oh, I miss you, man. I miss you so much. And I don't know, for everybody in the chat, both Big Boss and I are going to get to hang out with each other and our fathers. We're going to at the big LA Bowl on the 18th. We get our dads get to meet, man. I'm looking forward to that. That'll be really, really fun, dude. Really,
That's
really
what's
fun.
up, man. Jimmy Kimmel Bowl. We're gonna talk about who's gonna be in the house that day for the Jimmy Kimmel Bowl today.
Let's get started. We start with Friday action, and then we move into Saturday action. We have, as Boss said, he's the star of our big Saturday morning NCAA football show, and so the Saturday picks and all that will be dropped on that show. We are going to talk about 3 Saturday games because we have Big Boss. We have to talk about the Mountain West where he does it best. We have to talk about the Sun Belt, Fun Belt, and then we're going to talk about the SEC clash because it's so extremely interesting. But we have action to bet on tonight, so let's get after it. 7 p.m. Eastern, the Conference USA Championship. Western Kentucky Hilltoppers, 8-4, 7-1 in conference at UTSA Roadrunners, 11-1, 7-1 in conference at the Alamo Dome in San Antonio, Texas. And our producer, Jose Bouquet, is there right now. And a lot of cappers are joining him. They are tailgating right now. I'm sure he's drunk already. Not in the ditch yet, but drunk already. Let's take a look at what we're dealing with from a market perspective in this game today. Move this over here. Get the spreads and totals. So what we know about UTSA is it was basically a pick 'em. It moved to +1.5, and Jose was beside himself, backing UTSA on the money line and backing UTSA on the spread. This has continued to move towards Western Kentucky, who are now 3.5-point favorites. When we get over to the cash, we have 10,075 tickets, 69% of the tickets, 79% of the cash on Western Kentucky. Then you have 42% of the tickets, 83% of the cash on the under. Lou Chase Fox in the house says under the total, it's too high. After suffering a 52-46 loss at home to UTSA on October 9th as 3.5-point favorites, Western Kentucky ran the table. They won 7 straight, each by at least 15 points. Coming in off going into Marshall and beating them 53-21. That was at a pick'em, and they won 53-21. They were down 14-6 at the half. They outscored them 47-7 in the second half. Zapp threw for 4 touchdowns. So Tyson Helton brought over Zach Kitley, the offensive coordinator from Houston Baptist, brought in Zapp, brought in some others from Houston Baptist, and they put up 43.3 points per game, second in the country behind Ohio State. And Zapp threw for 4,968 yards and 52 touchdowns. At least 3 touchdowns in every game all year. UTSA secondary is being good, especially over the last 3 games, allowing just 2 passing touchdowns. Western Kentucky only runs the ball 33% of the time. That's the second lowest in the country, ahead of only Mississippi State. UTSA ranks second in the conference in run defense, allowing 121 yards per game, but they did not look good in their last 2 games against UAB and North Texas. They combined for 8 rushing touchdowns against them. UTSA had their 11-game winning streak snapped. Dreams of a perfect season snapped in an ugly 45-23 loss at North Texas in the driving rain in front of young Jose Bouquet. Frank Harris had 2 turnovers, didn't play after halftime, but he's been a beast this year. 2,688 yards, 23 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. Also ran for 5 touchdowns and 484 yards. Sincere McCormack is a very, very talented running back, 1,000 rushing yards. UTSA never started a season with more than 5 straight wins in the program's first 9 FBS seasons. They started with 11 this year. DJ Big Boss, take it away. This one pops off at 7 p.m. Eastern, Conference USA Championship.
Hey, this is a Cinderella season basically right here for UTSA. But Jose hit me up early in the trying to see which side I was on. He said he sees all the money coming in on Western Kentucky. Everybody's gonna back Zapp. NFL prospect on that side, man. Kind of a revenge factor in this game. But UTSA, to me, I feel like they shot they load in the UAB game a little bit earlier, and that's why it showed in the North Texas game. That they shot they load coming back, in that fourth quarter for the win right there. I watched that game and it just kind of looked like it. They gave it they all, they pulled it off and all that kind of stuff. And many Cinderella teams sometimes end right there. So I think they might have ended right there. And on the side, I would kind of take Western Kentucky. But I find more value in the total, and with the way that they're scoring over there at West Kentucky, they don't really have much defense. They have to score. And on the other side of the ball, UTSA, they have a balanced offense. They can score on the ground just as well as they can score in the air. So nothing's going to stop them from scoring either. So it's just going to be another shootout, plain and simple. The number is set 1.5 or I guess it went up to 2 points higher than it was last time, which is letting you know they coming in to see the same thing again. But who really wins in the end? I don't know. For the case of UTSA, this could be their plan strategy. They could have sat down in the North Texas game knowing they had a shot right here. This is their chance to get the crown right here. So I don't know. It's gonna be a good slug out between 2 offensive-minded coaches. They both, young into this conference. Both come from good backgrounds. So I expect the shootout. I don't see it no other way. A lot of people going to come in, and I guess you take the number late because a lot of people going to come in and just automatically say that number is too high because it's a championship game. But some games in these championship games, yeah, some teams going to pack defense if that's what they do. But some teams going to rely on their offense. And West Kentucky, that's all they got.
It's an interesting situation. And here in the chat, we have people backing the under. Luchase Fox on the under. A lot of cappers worried about elderly woman named Evelyn who believes it looks like she's really giving a good look at you. Really interesting what you have to offer.
Shit.
Luchase Fox says it would take a perfect offensive performance all game by both teams to cover 74. Says just not going to happen with two good teams. Reason why 84% of the money is on the under. Harold Williams also on that under. And we talked about the cash on the under. But we remember what happened the first time these two teams met. And it was a hugely offensive game won by UTSA. And at the time, that 52-46 win was the biggest in UTSA's program history, and they just kept having those wins. I have not moved on this spot. It did feel like at a pick'em when it came out that Western Kentucky Hilltoppers were the spot. Robert Franklin likes the over. He got it at 71.5. And right now at Pinnacle, let's just pull this up. Right now at Pinnacle, it's sitting at 72.5. I have never bet over that high in my life, but when they're that high, I usually, if I don't like the over, I usually just stay off of it. Now, if this total had gone from 72 to 76, I would be very interested in the under. But that is just slowly moving up with the sharps on the under, and I can understand why the sharps on the under. I feel like this is a tricky game to move on, and we've had a good run of late. Take it away.
Hey, that's typical of me, right? Being way on the other side of some shit, but that's the only way that I see it. It's typically not over that I would bet either. Like, but I can't really make a case for the under because we know Western Kentucky is not going to come play no defense on that side of the ball. We know that's not going to happen. On UTSA side of the ball, they could come out and try to play a little bit of deep, but they're playing against a guy that's on the open application to go to the NFL. The scouts are there. They're looking. It's on prime time. I expect him to put up 40 points himself. So 40 and 40 is how much? 80. That's easily over the 72. So, I mean, not a game that I would typically bet, but when the games are narrowed down, it's a Friday night, I got that itch. I'm going to go ahead and lay that over for, 1 unit play. No big deal.
I like it. I like it on the over here for Boss in the first spot on the card, Conference USA Championship. That over, by the way, is at 72.5, and it's juiced to the over, and we see a ton of sharp action on the under. Very interesting. All right, and the curb stomp play today is UTSA on the money line. Levi Kressler says, you putting together a bowl special again this year? I'm not sure, Levi. It's, that took enormous amounts of time, and it was very enjoyable, and I wasn't doing a daily show at the time. So I'm not sure. Arthur Mee Jr., thank you so much for the dono. Thank you for your ongoing support. It just means the world to us, my man. It means the world to us. You're a great guy, a great friend. Let's move on to the next spot on the board. And while I was looking at this, Boss, I thought about the Taint play of the day being on the Utah-Oregon under 57.5, and I thought about what I was about to play for the Taint play of the day. And I immediately thought that we need a new video for your action here with some of the older ladies. But for now, we just have this. But I already see it. I can already see it with Evelyn moaning back there. I think it's the next step. I think it's
those are the ladies of the PM. These are the ladies of the AM.
You're right. You're absolutely right. They are. Okay, let's move on to this spot here. Taint play today is on the under 57.5 in the Pac-12 Championship game. Number 10 ranked Oregon Ducks 10-2, 7-2 in conference. At number 17, Utah Utes 9-3, 8-1 in conference. Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas, Nevada. The winner of Friday's game will be going to the Rose Bowl on New Year's Day. Oregon bounced back from that ugly 38-7 loss at Utah by beating Oregon State 38-29 at home on Saturday as 7.5-point favorites. We expected a bounce back, and that's what we got. Right now, I don't have the market moves, but I do have Oregon sitting at +3, and the total still at 57.5, slightly juiced to the under. Harold Williams says +2.5 is payback time. payback time. And I'm very curious to hear Boss's idea on whether it is or not. Oregon playing in its third straight Pac-12 championship game. They've won the last 2 titles. And they also beat Utah in 2019, 37-15. No team has won 3 straight Pac-12 titles since the league expanded. Anthony Brown Jr. leads the Pac-12 with 264.8 yards of total offense per game, 16 touchdown passes, 9 touchdown runs. Against Utah, he threw for 231 yards and a touchdown. That wasn't the problem. The problem was they got completely shut down on the ground, 8 yards rushing. Anthony Brown had a nice bounce back against Oregon State, 23-28, 82.1% completion rate, threw for 275 yards and 2 touchdowns, ran for 83 yards and another touchdown. Against Utah, 2 weeks ago, he completed 48.6% of his passes and 8 rushing yards on 9 carries. Oregon only rushed for 63 yards in that game. Travis Dye and Byron Cardwell did not look good. Dye had 29 yards rushing on 6 carries. Cardwell had 35 yards rushing on 7 carries. Now, Dye had a much better game against Oregon State. Got over the 1,000-yard barrier. Utah followed up their big win over Oregon with a lackluster 28-13 win at home over Colorado as 23.5-point favorites. It was an easy cash for us on Colorado. That's what happens this time of year, not here in these conference games, but you get teams that don't care, aren't trying. The Utah Utes have appeared in the Pac-12 title games 3 times. They've never won a title. They've never played in the Rose Bowl. There is an enormous amount on the line here for Utah Utes and Cam Rising. 17 touchdown passes, 5 rushing scores, 3 picks all season he's thrown. Tavion Thomas ran for 94 yards, 3 touchdowns against Oregon 2 weeks ago. 208 rushing yards as a team they had against the Ducks. 208. Over the last 6 games, Utah's averaging 218.2 rushing yards per game. Tavion Thomas coming off his 5th 100-yard rushing game of the season, 142 against Colorado. So here we have a bunch of questions, Big Boss. First off, you go from outdoors to indoors, and then you have this possible bounce-back opportunity for a team that we saw beat up Ohio State earlier in the year. Can't wait to hear your breakdown. Here we go. Pac-12 Championship tonight, baby. Utah, Oregon. Take it away. You're muted, my man.
Let's answer outdoor to indoor. So first of all, outdoor to indoor, I don't trust the total with the outdoor to indoor. That indoor turf means a lot as far as like speed. That's right under Cristobal's program and what they do and all that. It moves a little way from what Utah does. So I don't really trust that. I don't know. I can't really say it's a short number, but I don't know. But historically, it's a decent number to go under on. But on a Friday night in the Pac-12, you know, anything can get called pass interference after pass interference. It's kind of I don't know. It's a tricky thing to play with right there. So I'm more on the side than anything. And I talk about on Saturday, I talk about my therapist and Oregon. That's one of those teams that me and my therapist been talking about. Sometimes I'm restricted from even being involved. And that's usually when they win is when I'm restricted. So last week I was restricted and they actually won. And I kind of figured that too. And right here, no restrictions is the last game. I might as well get a shot. And I think this is another shot to take them. And I'm going to go back to what I've been saying all year. You know, Cristobal said, you know, this is his 4th year here. So this is his group. This is all his recruits and everything put together, you know. And he says this is his best group ever. And this is his best group ever. He, you know, when you want to go coaching, you know, that's what it comes down to in these big games like this. And here we go, a coach with the experience at winning this big game. He has his best group ever. He's come off some big games, wins, and some big losses. And the losses play his part too, because I listened to Brady Hoke talk a little bit earlier about adversity, and it means a lot in these games. The teams that's able to react to adversity at times, you know, come back, and you know, it's fine when you're winning, but when you're down and you got to come back, that's what makes the hearts of the champion. So this Oregon team look bad when they bad and good when they good. So if they show up and prepare right and play well, they walk away with this game easily. But if they don't do so, they don't win this game. But the other factor that's lying on their side is the playing the same team twice in a short period of time. So that also plays to the under as well. You kind of used to what's going on. You didn't have enough time to really change a lot. So that plays, of course, to the under as well. So I guess I have to stamp that under as much as I don't like to on that indoor. But I stand more on the side of Oregon plus the points.
Wow, what a wildly interesting spot. Jonathan Manson, thank you for the $5 dono. He also says Oregon had an okay second half, November 20th, 10-7 Utah. The week before, Utah nearly lost to Arizona as a 1-11 team. Needed a late score with 2 minutes left. The pressure is on Utah now. That's from Jonathan Manson. Thank you so much, Jonathan, for the $5 dono, man. Thank you for your support, and I love hearing what you have to say about this spot. Zoe says Utah had an amazing 21-point second quarter last time. That's not going to happen again. Blue Chase Fox says Utah wins. Ducks going backwards basically all season. Billy Friedrich says Utah is being more consistent. They have motivation here to play in the Rose Bowl. I'll take the money line and against the spread. Blue Chase Fox, though, says Utah wins. Ducks going backwards basically all season, but I would not bet this game personally. This is very, very tough. I find both these games very, very difficult. And we're on a nice run in college football. We got down. It was a battle. We got down just under 10 units, but right now we're 58 and 52 at 52.7%, just up 0.3 units. ROI 0.27%, average line minus 111. Okay, so let's move on here. At this point, no moves, but razor sharp picks, gamblers first glance, Sixers plus 2.5. And Cab spanking the bookie says tomorrow, I like today's games, but yeah, Western Kentucky first half and Utah minus 2.5 for me. And Billy Friedrich says, looks like the line in UTSA Western Kentucky continues to move up, even with sharp money on the other. Well, we know that there's some sharp money on that over because DJ Big Boss is on it. So
we just moved the line right now. We moved the line on this show.
It's a fascinating spot. Billy Friedrich does like the under in that game. All right, let's move on to Saturday action. 3 p.m. Eastern. And Latte says Utah will play bully yet again. So I just made, just for my purposes of my study and all that, I have you as officially on Oregon plus 3, but not on the under, even though you believe in it.
I believe in it, but not on the under. I don't want to play with the total.
All right. Ron Crawford is also got a spreadsheet play today on Houston here. Let's get this here. Houston plus 10.5 on Saturday. Thank you for sharing with us, Ron. Okay, next up is the Mountain West Championship game. Utah State 9-3, 6-2 in the Mountain West, and number 19, San Diego State 11-1, 7-1 in the Mountain West. We did see some interesting market movement in this spot. San Diego State opening up at minus 3.5. Now we have 6s across the board. Also, this total opened up at 50.5, and it's been going down slightly to 50 to 49.5. Remo says, let's get to the CFL printing money portion. Rem, you know what happens when you go on a winning streak like I'm on right now. It takes a lot longer to make moves, man. So I'm still studying the action right now in CFL, and Jonathan Manson said Oregon plus 3 is a good pick because they never received points for a number 10 team. And Anthony, Pac-12 Player of the Week. Let's move over to the cash flow in the Mountain West, where Big Boss does it best. We have, where is it here? We have 3,972 tickets in. 30% of the tickets on Utah State, 37% of the cash on Utah State, and we've seen that 3.5 to 6 point move towards San Diego State. 35% of tickets on the over, 86% of cash on the over, and we've seen it move half a point to a full point over to the under. Ed Grinds in the house off a big day yesterday. Great work, Ed Grinds. Respect. All right, 60 Fahrenheit, mostly sunny, 7 miles per hour, back at Old Dignity Health Sports Park, whatever the hell you want to call it now, in Carson, California. The Mountain West title includes a berth in the Jimmy Kimmel LA Bowl, where Big Boss and I will be sharing a beer with our fathers at halftime. The Aggies followed up their shocking 44-17 loss at home versus Wyoming by beating up on New Mexico 35-10 as 17-point favorites. Logan Bonner coming off a big performance tied the school record with 5 touchdown passes, threw for 306 yards, 3,236 yards, and 32 touchdowns on the season with 10 picks. They held the Lobos to just 186 total yards. They lost to Fresno State in their only championship game appearance back in 2013. They are 6-0 on the road this season. San Diego State comes in off their 4th straight victory, 27-16 at home versus Boise State. And it's going to be Jordan Brookshire who will be the starting quarterback. Lucas Johnson went out with a knee injury. I can't wait to hear Boss's thoughts on that. And again, we are in this for the second day. We haven't seen a home game from San Diego since 2019. We're still in Carson, California for this. And they've been playing in empty stadiums until that game against Boise State when they actually had some fans there. Can't wait to hear your breakdown here. Mountain West, where you do it best. Boss, take it away.
Man, I didn't study this game over and over again. I just can just give it to you the way I can give it to you, man. The way this game basically gonna play out. Well, first of all, it's a little COVID thing on the offensive side. So supposedly with a tight end on the San Diego side, and Brady Hoke, he didn't want to talk about it. He said that's not something that he discusses. So they say that Mountain West doesn't even know about it yet. They don't know how many other players are attached to it. But that's not even to say the quarterback situation. More than likely Brookshire is going to get the start, but Luke, he's going to be on the sideline. Didn't practice Monday. So, it's just issues amongst the offense, but so what? Like offense hasn't been the thing for this team the whole time, though. The defense has been the key to this team right here. And then for the Utah State side, I mean, Anderson came out here. He's a great coach. He brought a great group with him, but their defense has holes in it. Everybody finds a way to score on them, but they've been finding ways to win. I mean, they're nothing without their quarterback, Logan Bonner. When he went down, they went down. But the guy gets hit a lot. He's been sacked 20 times for the season. And I don't know, coming in, and I've been thinking that because I had Boise State last week, and I've been thinking that San Diego State was just due because they don't really have that much offense, and they threw the ball like crazy last week when Brookshire came in. So that was kind of surprising on their end, but no way that they could pull that out the bag and do it again. But maybe so against a defense like Utah State. But Utah State does have the guy Justin Rice. He's the linebacker over there who also moved from Fresno State over to Utah State, along with the coach when he came from Arkansas State as well. So he's a centerpiece over there, but he can't do it all by himself right there. They don't really have a big huge defense or nothing like that. So their chances of winning is going to be having to be able to pull off a game again, some way, somehow. So I'm not sure about that size. Coming against that San Diego State defense is tough for everybody. Even when I counted Boise State in, it was rough for them as well. But the storyline to this one is going to be the kicker, Matt Ariza. This is going to be the American story of punter, and why punting and special team is important, and how this kicker is going to win a Mountain West championship with ball placement and the defense. Because no matter what happens on the offense or how far they get it, he'll place it in a place that gives the defense a chance to keep pinning them up. And all San Diego State is going to do is keep playing that game and keep doing different strategies on offense till they figure out the hole to either bust a big play or figure out where their niche is to score on offense. So I'm not too sure about the 6 going all the way up. This game could come down to a field goal some way, somehow. But even though San Diego State, they had some goof up with the placeholder or something last week, that's neither here nor there. If they have to kick a field goal, they just have to kick a field goal to win the Mountain West. But I think that it's definitely going to go under. Under's the spot. I'm not sure about the side. I kind of want to take the 6 points with Utah State if it stays at 6. But if it gets anywhere to 3.5, I might entertain taking San Diego State. I think San Diego State really pulls off the win in the storyline of the punter, but by how many points, I'm not sure.
Very interesting. Very, very interesting. So at this point, you think that it's possible that we see Lucas Johnson under center?
He just said that he didn't practice on Monday, but I guess he's up and walking around, so he may suit for the game. And but I think I always thought Brookshire was the better quarterback. When I looked at it a little deeper, Brookshire does protect the ball, and on the games that he played bad, like his quarterback percentage was really low. He rushed well on the ground, so being that he's coming off a good game where he, maybe he learned his lesson or something, but he threw the ball really well against a Boise State defense that is, they don't cover terribly, but they did figure out how to bust some coverages in that game too. So they got an offensive team. At the end it's going to come down to this offensive coaching. I don't know what they're doing over there to figure out how to bust. But Brady did talk about it in the press conference that at halftime it's bust down time. Like he busting down defenses and figuring out ways to score. That's why I say 90% chance the strategy in the game for the coaching is keep pinning them up, figure it out on offense, and that's how we get them.
And if that's the case, then the under is
the best play. Yeah.
And does it surprise you that at this point, with how many tickets in, with just 3,972 tickets in, but that 65% of tickets are on the under, but huge bets have come in on the over. Only 14% of the cash is on the under.
The only chance of the over happening is if Utah defense is so weak that they find a bust through way early and just get through. But I mean, I'm not saying Utah State is not going to score. Utah State may score somewhere under 17 points for the game, but I don't see San Diego State offense just running up on the field, considering the quarterback situation for one, and there could be a COVID outbreak for two, and they just not offensively based like that. They set the score about 21, 24 points. You know what I'm saying? So let's say 24-10, you know what I'm saying? 24-13. We still under right there. They've been the under team all year. The under stats on them, the two teams, I don't got it right here, but they've been the under team all year. We got to go under right here. We getting a high number too. Like usually we get a 41, a 43. We getting a 49.
Utah State right now is team totals at 20.5, and we already saw the spreadsheet play today on Houston plus 10.5. Lou Chase Fox has one upset I'm going to throw out is this University of Houston Cougars to win outright against Cincy. Cincy always struggles against good D, and Houston is one of the best, and they're hungry for an upset. H-Town is alive. H-Town is alive. All right, Bikers, don't say COVID outbreak too loud in there, Big Boss, because you know how Evelyn gets. Noli Knows says yes, under. All right, let's move on. Great breakdown, boss. We got two more games before we put a bow on this show and a bow on this week. The Sun Belt Fun Belt Conference Championship, and then it takes us right back to the similar situation we're dealing with Oregon, Utah. App State Mountaineers 10-2, 7-1 in the Sun Belt at 24 ranked. Louisiana Raging Cajuns 11-1, 8-0 in the Sun Belt. Cajun Field in Lafayette, Louisiana, 76 Fahrenheit, mostly sunny, 3 miles per hour. We have App State opening up at -2, another -2.5 and -3. So I guess that's the big difference. The big difference is there's a couple big differences. Obviously, the Oregon-Utah game was 2 weeks ago. This game was, 7 weeks ago? And people believe in what they saw because Oregon's a 3-point dog, but they don't believe what they saw in that App State game when Louisiana ran roughshod over them, 41-13. And the reason why they get to host this game here, because we have App State still as the favorite. Let's see where the cash lies. I'd be very interested in this. 3,707 tickets in, 48% of the tickets on App State, 57% of the cash. Then 49% of tickets on the over, 95% of the cash on that over. And it's gone up a half point at some books. Very, very, very interesting here. App State comes in off their 6th straight win, 27-3 at home over Georgia Southern. These teams obviously met in that 41-13 loss. After losing week 1, 38-18 at Texas, the Raging Cajuns have run the table. They come off a 21-16 win at UL Monroe. They have a ground game that's very dangerous. They've averaged 190.9 yards per game. And Levi Lewis is a dual threat, and he's ready to pounce. But the Mountaineers have been allowing a league low 113.4 yards rushing per game. Let's give it off to our guy, DJ Big Boss. Sun Belt Conference Championship, App State, Louisiana. Take it away.
Man, this one is a no hard one for the safest bet to take right here. You got App State. They're 7 games, 5-7 to the under. You got Louisiana Monroe. They're 3-9 to the under. Now, both of these quarterbacks I had high hopes for early in the season. That's Chase Bryce and Lewis. And both of them, I hate them both evenly right now. They both underperform a lot of the times. Both of these teams eat off of the run. So at the end of the day, you got two very strong. Both of them these two teams got beef, man. They packing brass knuckles, switchblades, everything, man. It's just gonna be a defensive fight, running up in the field, quarterbacks trying to throw but getting beat up. It's gonna be brutal, man. And the only way to bet that one is under right there. Hopefully we get some cold weather along with that. That'll be great. But leaning heavy to the under right here. But is this App State year? And being with, I don't know. I'm just kind of leaning towards every record being broke this year. Like every time it's a situation. I mean, Milwaukee Bucks won the NBA. That was the first. Atlanta, they won the World Series. That was first in a long time. Everything first in a long time, I'm for it. Even in the San Diego State team, that's going to be the first time ever they win 12 games in a season. Let's go for it. App State took 2 losses in a row. It's time for them to turn the table in this one, and I lean App State. App State just played more efficient down the stretch. Louisiana Monroe still just seems to suffer. So basically at the end of the day, when it comes down to throwing the ball, I think App State has been able to throw it slightly better at times when needed than Louisiana Monroe, and that'll probably be whoever could throw the ball a slightly bit better than the other team wins this game.
So it's going to be gorgeous on Saturday. Absolutely beautiful in Lafayette, Louisiana. 76 Fahrenheit, 3 miles per hour wind. Does that change anything?
I don't know. I mean, the sensible play is the under judging. I mean, if you a Texas, which these championship games should go according to the stats and what's been going on. Like teams should bring what they best at. Now we know what these teams are definitely best at, and if it plays that way, yes. But if you the type that want to come into this game contrarian, then that's a short number to attack on the contrarian play. But me, from playing Sun Belt year in year out, the history of this game, I'm gonna look at that as well, and I'm gonna lean under as well with the history also.
There's a 53 on the board right now, and it looks like this number should climb. It should climb at this point when we have 95% of the cash on the over with just 49% of the tickets. Ed Grind says App State. Kent Davies, App State. Puzzler says App State. It's wild. And if you like Oregon and App State, then you're going to take advantage of what everybody saw and in that first meeting. Is there truth to what everybody saw? I mean, that's up for you as a capper to decide. And in college football this year, when I've seen a clear advantage on one team carrying and one team not carrying, my ROI is through the roof. When I have to make a decision based on who I think is the better football team and will win this game, I am losing. And so what have I done? I've just really shut down my quantity of action. So I don't know at this point what I'm going to do in this spot. It's going to take a lot more thought for me. Let's move on to the final game on our show. We got DJ Big Boss joining us, star of the big Saturday NCAA football show here on Pub Sports Radio at 10 a.m. Eastern, alongside Babano, C-Mac, and the Big Ragu. SEC Championship game. Number 1, Georgia Bulldogs, 12-0, 8-0 in the SEC. And number 3, Alabama Crimson Tide, 11-1, 7-1 in the SEC. We're at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, Georgia. Let's start with the market here in this Huge game. Georgia opening up as 4-point favorites, now 6.5. 6 at some books, but 6.5 at others. This total has dropped from 51.5 to 49.5. Let's take a look at the cash. Let's take a look at the cash flow in this spot. We have, sorry, take a second here. Where the hell is it? We have 12,950 tickets in, 77% of the tickets on Georgia, 83% of the cash, market moving towards them. Simple. Then we have 48% of tickets and 63% of cash on the over, yet the market is dropping a couple points. Real Deal Prime says Bulldogs, baby. Noli knows on the Ryder Iona under 141. Thank you for sharing that with us, Noli, my guy. Georgia comes in perfect. They were last seen in a dominant 45-0 win at Georgia Tech. They lead the nation in scoring defense, allowing 6.9 points per game. That was their third shutout of the year. They've trailed only 4 times this season, only once after the first quarter, and never in the second half. Sorry, just copied and pasted Noli's information. All right, and Georgia's offensive line is extremely strong. They've protected Stetson Bennett all year, but they did lose a senior left tackle who's missed the last 4 games with a foot injury, and they've still produced because they're that good. Could it hurt them against a top team like Bama and Will Anderson Jr.? Alabama comes in off a wild comeback win, 24-22 at Auburn. They've beaten Georgia 6 straight times, including twice in SEC championship games. They beat them 41-24 last season. Alabama's playing for a spot in the college football playoff, although it is possible that they get in if they keep this close. And Brian Robertson Jr. status is uncertain due to a left leg injury, 1,016 yards rushing, 14 touchdowns. He's also caught 29 passes for 252 yards and 2 touchdowns. Curb Stomp is on the SEC Championship over 49.5 from Mike M. Robert Franklin is on the Bulldogs. Derl Lyles is also on the over in Georgia, Alabama. Cab is on Georgia -6. Kent Davies says Alabama just barely squeaked by last week. Their emotional gas tank is empty. Here we go, Big Boss. Last game on the card. Georgia, Alabama, take it away.
I don't know, Jimmy. You tell me. Something just tells me overall this season in college football, not enough big games came down to a field goal. True or false? I don't know. Y'all tell me in the chat. But some of these games, I look at them and I'm like, that game seems like it's going to come down to a field goal. So with that, the 6 seems like, I'm getting 6 with Alabama. Give it here. But at the same time, you see this, and you just messed me up when you told me about the games you watched and all that, the ROI. These, oh my God. But when you see Georgia play, I mean, you like total dominance. Like they look more beastier than some of the best Alabama teams that you've seen. And that defensive tackle over there, like he is just such a beast. I can't wait to see what he's gonna do in the NFL. He's like I forget that big kid that was from in basketball. He's just a big beastie kid at the defensive line. But as far as pick wise, I find value, and I've been eating a little bit all year, reversing it and taking Georgia first half instead of Alabama first half all the time, because Alabama first half haven't been working out. And I think that's exactly why you take it. Like Alabama first half haven't been working out all year. Georgia first half has been working out. So that means that they're structured that way. That means Georgia comes out after it. That means Bama has been figuring it out on the fly. Second half, we've seen it all happen. And we all know, like, this is not the Bama team of the past. And I was talking to a couple Bama fans, and they agree with me 100%. Like, this Bama team doesn't have that extra oomph. Like, we seen the wide receiver they had last year he was lighting the ass, but at the same time, when he made a play, he had that extra oomph on the end. And these guys just don't have that extra oomph. And then they try to say, well, they still have defense. And the defense, on the other hand, they got wide open spots in the middle. Like if you can stand back there long enough, you can pick them apart a little bit. And that hasn't been the case for Alabama for a long time. They usually have enough pass rush that if you don't release the ball in a certain amount of time, then you never made it to that part. So it's pieces in there that could be broken down. But at the same time, I don't believe in Stetson Bennett or JT Daniels. I think only thing that Georgia is packing is a great run game and a great defense. So I think the game is probably be under for sure. But I think Georgia first half would be the play for me.
Georgia first half again tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern. You're going to be able to see Big Boss locking in all of his action. So close here. Ron Crawford says, fade Alabama. Be my guest. Sounds like he's holding a rifle. Paco Healy says, would be easier. Sorry, plus money. Sorry, we're talking about the Vegas game. And there you go. So first half is a lean at this point, and the under as well. Cab says Bryce Young struggles with pressure, and you know Georgia is going to get after. Georgia's going to be able to run the ball too.
And Bryce Young is not a true Alabama quarterback, man. That guy is poor. That's another reason for the young I mean, you could talk about these guys if they play for big schools, but compared to a lot of quarterbacks that's like, you know, playing around college, these guys are poor. They're not the quarterbacks from these big schools that's like the ones that's in the NFL right now. So I think that leans towards the under a lot in these big games as well.
You like Alabama team total under at 20.5?
It can happen. Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, this team's a lot. I mean, I know Alabama's better than the average team, quite a bit better than the average team Georgia's played, but they've allowed an average of 6.9 points per game. So, you know, you could have that doubled here.
And Georgia's been one of those defensive units similar to Notre Dame that plays with like a little chip on their shoulder, like they feel some kind of way when a team scores on them, or you know they try to pitch a shutout if they can. So those type of teams I like backing team total unders and the unders on those.
Alabama could triple the average points that Georgia's allowed, and you still push that team total. Spectacular work, DJ Big Boss, man. I've missed you. I can't wait to hang out with you in person, my man. So we'll get to hang out with the dads at SoFi, and then hopefully we'll get many more opportunities over the holidays. You make life so much more fun and capping so much fun. And look at the smiles you've put on those ladies in the background, man.
Hey, man, I want to say to all those young single guys out here trying to make a little money watching this show and betting the games, man, look, get you an AM lady, man. Get you an AM lady. I know your Tinder profile and all that stuff is not working for you right now because you don't know what to say or do. Look, the AM lady, it works, man. Get you one of these AM ladies. And like I tell you, if somebody say you weird or if her son come tripping on you, tell him, look, Santa Claus coming down the chimney is weird to me. Y'all have a good one, man.
And that weird money too. I haven't heard anything about that weird money too.
Yeah. We gotta wait till the Kentucky Derby come around because we're gonna hit us with some weird money when the ponies come around. The weird money just comes tumbling.
Oh, God, boss. Thank you so much for joining us. Follow him on Twitter at DJ Big Boss. Have a great show tomorrow, and thank you for rolling with us, my guy.
All right, man. Y'all come check us out, man. Shout out to Pub Sports.
DJ Big Boss in the house. Let's do a quick review of Boss's action. He is Western Kentucky, UTSA. He's on the over 72.5. And he's on Oregon for tonight's action. On Saturday, basically just leans at this point. You'll have to check out the show tomorrow. But the under 53, he likes Nap State, Louisiana, and leaning to the Georgia first half and the under. We'll see if he makes that official. Okay, let's review all action and then put a bow on the, just like normal, a 3-hour Saturday. We're coming off a monster day. 8 wins, 2 losses, plus 7.55 units. 5-0 plus 6.75 units in NHL. I'm not adding anything to my NHL card. I don't plan to, at least. This is my action. I made 4 bets, and I got shit lines. That it was my fault. It was my fault for being too bad. I didn't get the spots that didn't move. I got in early on those. Knights minus 1.5 and plus 115. Golden Knights. Paco said, what do you think about the team total over? And it was a very disappointing defensive effort by Vegas against the Ducks, and DeBoer is not going to take that shit. So I prefer the -1.5 than the team total over 3.5 because it has to be defense first. I expect it to be defense first. And I remember, and keep this in mind when you're capping NHL, the highest ROI you're ever going to find is when you have a favorite that's a good team that you believe in that's been bad of late. They've lost 2 of 3, or like the Knights 3 of 4, and they're playing the worst team in the league because they got to come in focused. They got to get right here. And if there's not a legitimate excuse for why they've been playing bad, like an angle that you believe in, then you attack that favorite. So that's what's up with Knights -1.5 at +115. Then I'm on the Rangers -1 and the Jets -1. And I was hesitant over the Jets bet, and I didn't make it I didn't click it. The Rangers, when I could have got -175 and +135, because I was still just humming and hawing over the Jets. And then, of course, it moves to -192 and +125. So that cost me some money if they win. If they lose, it's all the same. I'm on the Rangers -1, -130, Jets -1, -127. And I'm on the Ducks +110. And that's going up against Birdie and some great cappers. I want to fade the Ducks without Getzlaf against a team that wins faceoffs. And the Flames are below average in faceoffs, so I don't want them there. That is NHL. When we move over to NCAA basketball, I'm going to have to take a long look at and study what Max said. Jennifer says, where is the CFL? No CFL here on this show, Jennifer. I apologize for that. I will be tweeting out my action. And there was a lot of games to cap. And I've been staring at the 2 CFL games for a long time, and I haven't bet them either of them yet. So I apologize. You have to follow me on Twitter to get that information, what I'm betting. And again, part of the reason why I'm really hesitant is that I've cashed 11 straight. And, that kind of tightens up everything when you start a run like that. Let's go over the action in NBA. Our guy Derl is on Pacers first half team total over 53.5. He's on Cavs first quarter +1 at -111. Off of 76ers Hawks, off of Timberwolves Nets. Then he's off of Magic Houston Rockets. I like Orlando. Oh yeah, Paco Healy. But Paco Healy, I had a great Friday last week in NHL, and then I gave back $600, but 3 bets I lost over the weekend, and I felt like I was capping them lazy. And I can't have that happen. So that happened last weekend. I lost 3 bets, and I was like, you know what? It was fucking lazy. I didn't put as much effort into it as I've been doing for these shows. And so but I have been doing that. Noli says, drop the purse, Jimmy. Look, I get it. Piker says, do we have any AM ladies? No. AM, PM lady. Okay. Let's go over this. Orlando, I'm thinking of moving on. Derl is on the Pelicans first quarter +2. Dan Kelly's on the Cleveland Cavaliers first half +2 in Boston, Utah over 54 in the third quarter. Derl's on the Jazz -7.5. I like that as well. I heard that Real Deal Prime that Malcolm Subban is coming in. I like Malcolm Subban. If it wasn't for these Slewfoots by PK, we'd love the family. They're a hugely popular family here in Scarborough, just up the road or down the road. Then I'm going to triple up on the Warriors, I think. Maybe I won't have the balls and I'll just double up. Or maybe I just cut another $25 off of my unit size, just making $100 bets on 3 of them. I'm actually leaning towards doing that. Ron Crawford spreadsheet play today is the Warriors. Max is on Cornell -7 at -112. New Mexico State Aggies -105. And he has done a lot in this Purdue game. He's on the first half -6.5, -113. He's on the team total over 86.5, -105. And he's on the first half over in Iowa, Purdue at 75. Then he's on Portland Pilots -3.5 at -110. The under 147 in VMI Portland Pilots. And he has a parlay with New Mexico State, Purdue, and Portland. That's at +222. Again, he's got a money line parlay, New Mexico State, Purdue, Portland at +222. The curb stomp play of the day in college football is UTSA money line. UTSA money line. Boss, we already went over all the college football stuff that Boss is on that got this show started. Ron Crawford has a Saturday NCAA football spreadsheet play day on Houston +10.5. Noli Knows gave us Ryder and Iona under 141. And our guys, Mike M. and Ron Crawford, have their first combo here. Their combo spreadsheet play of the day. Let me pull it up here. Sorry, here we go. The spreadsheet play today combined with the curb stomp is the New York Rangers in regulation. And there you go. There you go. Kent Davis says, I know which of Max's picks will hit just based on his facial expression. I've had a good time seeing if my thoughts correlate with Max's breakdowns and betting them. I'm 20-15 on that. And I'm going to keep that. And just to let you guys know something, Max was like, do you want to know the plays I'm on last night? And I said, no. I prefer doing exactly what we're doing. And that's me studying the games, having a plan, hearing Max's breakdown, looking at the market moves, and deciding whether to make a move. Now, if I start slowing down, because I've not had any bad days, I just haven't had great days. If I start slowing down, then I will do something different. But right now, I really like the situation. And I think that a lot of you guys are doing the exact same thing, and I think it works. And now we're only with 35-game sample size, so we really need more time. All right. Know Something says, what is an AM lady? An AM lady is a blue hair that wakes up early, has dinner around 3:30 or 4, and goes to sleep early. An older lady. It's an AM lady. All right. I love you guys. Thank you so much for your support. I will see you guys on Sunday morning going for our 6th straight winning week in NFL. And we've flipped the script. It's down 10 units in NFL now. I'm up just under 5 straight winning weeks. I love you guys. I mean that. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your insights. I hope Jose is having an incredible time at the tailgate. If you're in the San Antonio area, get to that UTSA parking lot. Kent Davies, North Ender, Real Deal Prime, Paco Healy, Robert Franklin, Mike M. Know Something. Piker, a.k.a. Poker Addicted 79, a.k.a. Seamus Ignoramus, Ed Grinds, Puzzler, Jared T.G., Noli Knows, Preston Burke says Georgia, like Michigan last week, gets monkey off the back for a change. My people from Burke Co., Georgia Bulldogs cover this time, says Preston Burke. Respect. Jennifer, all you guys, thank you so much for your support. Jennifer J for CFL. I so thankful to roll with you guys. Daryl Lyles, Andrew Carr, just very thankful. Let's have ourselves a Friday. On behalf of all of us at Pub Sports Radio, thank you for your support. Check out NBA at 4 p.m. Eastern, NCAA at 5 p.m. Eastern. But most importantly, let's get their fucking money. Hey, those bookmakers! Now, I don't have Jose to close the show. So like an ass clown, I have to wait a few seconds and press the